I will fight.
This is the face of a fighter.
I will fight for you.
My mom is the bravest woman I've ever known. She is my strength, my motivation.
You don't ever think cancer will happen to you. I was shocked when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Things looked bleak. I did not want to get out of bed in the morning. Something you cannot see is ripping you away from everyone you love. But my support group, my family, stood by me. Something inside of me said, I won't let myself die. I need to teach myself how to live.
And she fought. She changed her life. Her spirit inspired me to become the man I am today.
I survived. Today in this game, 2 football teams are inspiring change that is bigger than sport. The Cure Bowl, like myself, like Liberty and Georgia Southern, are just getting started. The clutch plays.
Buck will throw. Gandy Golden, the catch, the five, right above, touchdown Liberty! Outstanding catch by Gandy Golden. Wirtz is wide open. Does he have it up? 20, 15, 10, 5. He's got 6. Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
The defensive stands.
Morgan to throw. He must hit the ball's out. It's back free inside the 35. Eagles recovered. And Rashad Bird. Just a collision from Jayyon Sanders. A big loss on the play.
The big win.
The Flames are bowl eligible for the first time in school history. For the first time in a dozen years, they have scaled the mountain and they have planted that GS flag.
Are all just the beginning of something special. Because this bowl
These teams
and this cause
will never give up on you.
I'm not going down that easy. So don't give up on me.
With appreciation for Rashad Bird and his mother Caroline for setting the inspirational tone, we welcome you to the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl on CBS Sports Network. From Orlando, Florida, the Liberty Flames versus the Georgia Southern Eagles. With John Shriven on the sideline, Aaron Taylor, I'm Carter Blackburn. It's the 5th year for us, the Cure Bowl on CBS Sports Network, and it is truly always a privilege to be here.
We're so grateful to be here because today's game is a contest with a cause. One of those rare opportunities that you and I and the fans, the players, you guys at home get to be a part of something special that's greater than the field of play and what's taken place there. Our goal today is to inspire those whose fight is ongoing and to celebrate those that have already won it. Cancer can be beat, and we're here to help that process.
On the field, this appears to be an evenly matched game between Georgia Southern and Liberty, and also one of sharply contrasting styles.
Well, both of these offenses run an option-style offense. For Liberty, though, it's the run-pass option that features the air attack. For Georgia Southern, it's all about the triple option on the ground. A lot of times, kids don't want to show up in bowl games. That is not the case here today. Today's game is about validation and credibility. I don't know how well they're playing, but they're going to play their tails off.
Well, for Liberty University, football has always been a priority since Jerry Falwell founded the university in Lynchburg, Virginia. 1973, the first season playing football. Then it was a move up to 1AA. They make the FCF playoffs in 2014. This year is the first season they have been bowl eligible, and here they are in their first bowl game, thanks in large part to Stephen Callard, but they know him on the mountain as Buckshot.
Buckshot can sling it. He's a big, strong-armed, accurate pocket passer that lets this offense go. The RPOs, he's the career leader in touchdowns and total yards, has done an incredible job of cutting down the interceptions year over year, and it's a big reason why this offense has led them to this game today.
And his biggest target is simply one of the best wide receivers in football, Antonio Gandy Golden.
Gandy Golden's the best player on the field today. He's a next-level player in the NFL. 1,300-plus yards this year, is third in the FBS. He was a semifinalist for the Biletnikoff Award that goes to the country's best. Southern has to find a way to keep 11 in check.
And speaking of those Georgia Southern Eagles, they want to give you the Statesboro Blues by running the football. It is old school option football.
It's all about the triple option, but it's a triple option 2.0. A lot of different personnel groups and formations, but it's still about the give, the keep, and the pitch. The inside run game, taking advantage of the offensive line, getting up inside the tackles. That's step one. And look at this, the bobsled formation. We'll see some of this today. This is the second part of that option, which is the quarterback. Shai Werts keeping it. Very hard to defend. You have to be disciplined with your eyes. And then finally, this is the game against Appalachian State. They handed Appalachian State their only loss of the year, and a big reason why is this triple option offense that featured the pitch, and a very talented deep group of running backs showed up.
And all three of those leading rushers have had to deal with adversity of different kinds this season, so it has very much been a resilient and effective group running the football for the Eagles. And for more on what has been truly a unique season for Georgia Southern, here's John Schriffen.
Well, Carter, it is a huge accomplishment for Georgia Southern just to even be in this game, considering everything they've gone through. This summer, their quarterback, Shai Werts, was wrongly arrested during a traffic stop, thrown in jail, charged with cocaine possession. Well, it turns out it was nothing more than bird droppings on his car. Wild, right? Well, just as they were getting past that situation, in October, freshman offensive lineman Jordan Wiggins took his own life. Now, head coach Chad Lunsford said it was very hard for this team. It took it very difficult. They had to cancel all football activities the following day. They even contemplated not playing in the game that weekend. Now, the players eventually voted to play in the game against Louisiana, but Coach Lunsford said they are still dealing with the effects of that situation. He said if anything positive came from it, it's that guys now know it's okay not to be okay. But he is proud of the way they have bounced back with all the adversity they faced this year.
The toughness of this football team and of Chad Lunsford has never been in question, and that is evidenced by getting to this bowl game for Liberty. Hugh Freeze out of the game for 2 years after resigning as head coach at Ole Miss in July of 2017. Called it his exile period. Told us he wants this bowl game to be about celebration, joy, and remembrance for his football team. Celebrating Liberty University's first bowl game appearance. And thankfully, as we get set for kickoff between Liberty and the Georgia Southern Eagles, we have no rain here in Orlando, Florida. Just a balmy 74 degrees, cloudy, and hopefully the rain holds off for what should be a good one between Georgia Southern and Liberty. Fifth year, the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl. All proceeds from the game go towards cancer research, bringing teams together to find a cure for cancer. And as you said, Aaron, at the very beginning, this is a game with a much greater cause, and we're happy to be here to celebrate that fight, that resiliency with you. Pink all around. Gus is here, fired up for the Georgia Southern Eagles. And for the Liberty Flames, the first time to play in a bowl game in their first year of bowl eligibility at the FBS level. Liberty won the toss and elected to defer, so Georgia Southern will get the football first to begin the 2019 Cure Bowl. Georgia Southern has been electric on special teams throughout the year. Alex Probert will kick it away. Wesley Kennedy and Wesley Liptrop are back. Kennedy will take it in the end zone and take a knee. So Georgia Southern will get the football at the 25-yard line to begin. Let's begin with our Chick-fil-A starting lineups with Georgia Southern quarterback Shai Werts. We spoke to him earlier this week. He said understatedly that this season has been, quote, eventful. After being cleared and what John told you about the bird droppings incident, Werts injured his shoulder in the opener versus LSU, missed nearly a month. After the 1-3 start, Werts led a players-only meeting in which he stressed the power of a positive team. So he told us 7 wins, a bowl game. It feels good to have a successful season after everything the Eagles have been through. King's with him in the backfield, and Woods will hand off to King, who pushes and gets just a yard, maybe two, as we take a look at the offensive starting lineups for the Georgia Southern Eagles.
Well, we talked about this offense that wants to control the football today. I really feel that that's going to be key. A lot of times we talk about defense winning championships. The offense today that can exert its will the most will win this ball game, and that means number one and the rest of this offense have to do their job and do a better job on first down than they just did there.
So you feel like early on we'll get a feel as to who is controlling the football game the way they want to. That's Kennedy, who pushes a big pile to maybe the 29. So 3rd and 6 to begin for the Georgia Southern Eagle against the Liberty Flame defense.
And this defense is right on schedule. These first 2 plays are exactly what they wanted to happen. Win on early downs to force some 3rd and long situations. Liberty's really struggled. 104th in the FBS on 3rd down. If they can keep the Eagles in these sort of situations all game, that'll be a big factor in why they'll win.
Eagles go 3 wide on 3rd and 6. Wirtz out of the gun. Lemonnier showing pressure off the edge, so Wirtz will audible. With 3 backs with him in the backfield. Handoff, Kennedy, nothing doing, with Jesse Lemonnier leading the way for the Liberty Flames. And it is a 3 and out on the opening possession. Rusins and Clark and everybody else on the defensive line in on the stop.
Very conservative play calling, but just credit this front 7 of Liberty of getting penetration and winning their individual matchups. You mentioned Lemonnier, Carter, number 11. He is a force off the outside edge, and that is the exact start that the Flames were looking for.
Florida native to Liberty via Ventura College. Told us he was very thrilled to have a bowl game in the Sunshine State. Beck will punt it away. Georgia Southern's opening drive woes continue. Haven't scored a touchdown on the opening drive this year. That's a bobble on the special teams. Who is on top? Stubbs muffed the punt, and now at the bottom of the pile, we'll see whether it's Flames or Eagles. Anthony Beck, the freshman punter, is already celebrating, and it will be Liberty football. So Stubbs manages to get back on top of it after the muff.
The Flames are extremely lucky here. You talked about how good Georgia Southern is on the defensive side of the ball. That could have been critical.
The ruling on the field is a kick muffed by the returner, subsequently returned by Liberty, recovered, first down.
It looked like Najee Thompson actually inadvertently knocked it back into the hands of Stubbs for Liberty.
I was down on the field before the game. The wind was swirling a little bit. It died right at kick, but that's something for us to keep an eye on. The forecast is from 15 to 20 miles an hour today. That may have just been the first time that the wind played a factor.
Hickson is in the backfield with Calvert, and Hickson, there's the run pass option, and it's incomplete. Intended for DJ Stubbs. Chick-fil-A starting lineups beginning with Buckshot, Calvert for the Flames. If you're a stock car racing fan like Steven's dad, you may know the name Buckshot Jones or his famous crashes. Steve, with Mom Kim's blessing, decided to be the perfect middle name for their son. Andy Staples had a great piece all about it, but on the field, Steven has been tough as Buckshot, like his namesake.
The run pass option, that's the player, that's the overhang player that's getting red.
And on second down, and the Eagles hold, forcing 3rd and long with Rashad Bird leading the way. And we look at the rest of the offensive starters for the Flames.
Man, this is a group, Carter, that's come a long way since the start of the season. Liberty started the season 0-2, and remember the issues with their head coach not being at practice due to the surgery and the back issues that he had. They found their way, though, and as this season's gone on, they've relied even more heavily on the run game. Over 300 rushing yards in their last out. They'd love to stay balanced today, but expect them also to take some shots.
So here's Buckshot on 3rd and 8. Loading up, tipped, and it is incomplete over the middle. And so Liberty goes 3 and out. Huntley, the intended receiver, and Darrell Baker. Donald Rutledge unavailable today at safety, so Baker is in there, and he breaks the pass up.
Great job of breaking the pass. In extremely tight coverage, both of these defenses exerting their will early. Southern with a 3-and-out of their own. Not going to lie, it's not kind of what I expected early on in this ballgame.
Truth is out. Kennedy, fair catch. He's going to back up and makes the grab in the wind. Fair catch. That's a win in special teams right now.
So not a flaming start for Liberty. Georgia Southern hopes to be hailing a bowl win by the end of the day in Orlando. Happy holidays from all of us at the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Scoreless start. Let's take a look at our Ryan keys to the game.
Well, for Georgia Southern, they've got to get it going. Liberty Flames offensively, they've got to protect the quarterback. That means their offensive line has to step up defensively, force the Eagles into third and medium. And for Georgia Southern offensively, they got to play small ball, play some keep away, and also limit the explosiveness of a Flames offense that can take deep shots and has the personnel to do it, especially with Antonio Gandy Golden.
The Georgia Southern Eagles 8th in the nation, averaging 261 rushing yards a game. On that Halloween night win at Appalachian State, they ran for 335. Wirtz, option to the right, trying to stretch it out on the outside, though the containment is there, and Kennedy gets the toss, but nothing doing as Dupree makes a stop. Let's check with John.
Well, guys, the wind in this stadium is very misleading. This is a soccer stadium, so this is the first time they've ever had a football game here. Typically, you look at the flags on top of the goalpost, but they are not moving. What you really need to look at is the flags in the corner of the end zone. They are whipping right now, and that's what happened on that opening punt when DJ Stubbs fumbled it. He took his first step up. The wind carried it over his head, and that's why he fumbled it.
That's a great report, John, because you're exactly right. I mean, you get the high punts up above the stadium, and it has been a factor already in the 2 punts we've seen. 3-and-out, 3-and-out. Eagles trying to finally move the football. J.D. King, the junior from Fitzgerald, Georgia, eligible this year after transferring from Oklahoma State because he's helping care for his ailing father. NCAA granted him a waiver. We learned that his grandmother passed away on Thursday, so J.D. King is trying to rally his spirits for this football game this afternoon. Empty on 3rd and 4. Wirtz stepping up in the pocket, rolling, and he'll take a sack. And the Liberty defense holds again. Trayshawn Clark, the true freshman from right down the road in Cape Coral, Florida, who now has 5.5 sacks on the year to lead the Flames.
Here he is coming off the outside edge. This is a situation that if you're Liberty, you want to create. Get those third and mediums to third and long so that you can unleash your pass rushers. 32 sacks, tied for 33rd in the country. They added another one there, and they're back-to-back 3-and-out. Can't start any better than that.
And here's Beck to punt to Stubbs again with the wind swirling. Stubbs will back up, make the grab, no fair catch, and he's tackled at the 11-yard line. So Anthony Beck II has a lot to celebrate early for Georgia Southern. The Eagles punter is the early hero. One of our favorite parts. The Orlando Sports Foundation does a great job hosting bowl games beginning with the Cure Bowl. And now here is the punt return average, which is not a highlight for the Liberty Flames. We've seen that demonstrated on the first 2 punts.
Had them off and then immediately tackled when they fielded it. Georgia Southern's offense isn't really humming back-to-back 3-and-outs, but their special teams are allowing them to win the field position game at the moment.
So here's Buckshot Calvert with Joshua Mack in the backfield. Handed off Mack, and he is dropped for a loss. Immediately, C.J. Wright blows it up in the backfield.
C.J. Wright playing right over the center at the nose position. Just wins his one-on-one matchup. That's an extremely hard block for a center to take him one-on-one. The center has to keep his head up. This defensive line for Southern doing a nice job of winning their matchup. These O-lines for both of these teams kind of struggled early on. The strength of both defenses are the front sevens, and we're seeing that big time here early.
Antonio Gandy Golden has not touched it yet for Liberty. Second offensive possession. Officially a loss of 2. So now Calvert from back near his own goal line finds Mack out of the backfield. Mack wrestled down. Here comes a flag.
That could be a bailout penalty. Bowdy on the stop there on Mack. Bowdry rather on the stop, and now we'll check the flag.
Big time bailout is right, Carter.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 5. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, results in an automatic first down.
The first down of the game.
And it was unfortunate because it was really good coverage on the back end. But Bowdry clearly grabs that face mask with his left hand. Wasn't in a good football position. Not a very fundamental tackle there. And the Flames are on the march as a result.
So with both offenses averaging less than a yard per play, 15 on a face mask is easily the biggest play of the game. Kevin Hassel and his crew making sure that they're squared away on the spotting of this one at the 26.
The location on the field is correct, as the penalty was enforced from the previous spot, not the end of the run.
Good explanation. I think that was directed right at Hugh Freeze. 4 total yards of offense in the game. Who's going to break out first? Calvert from the 26. Hands off. Mack picking his way, just getting a couple more. And you know you're setting up for a shot at some point as we take a look at the Eagles' defensive starting lineup, led by Wright, who had the tackle for loss.
Well, we've already talked about this front 7, and Wright's one of those players making his presence felt early.
Calvert 2nd and 8. Heavy pressure releases. There's Antonio Gandy-Golden with his first touch. And it is the first offensive first down of the game for the senior from Georgia.
You'll see a lot of those short hitches. They like to get the ball into their receivers' hands and let them run after the catch, but Georgia Southern will let them do that all day long because they don't want to get beat over the top.
Empty on first down. Hurry up. Calvert steps up, slings it incomplete. I think he hit his backup, Landon Brown, on the sideline.
That's that gunslinger, that big arm that we were talking about at the top of the show when we came on the air. I noticed early on in the BYU and the Virginia games, Buckshot got a little bit nervous. I think he was amped up. I used to play with Brett Favre. Favre used to say, I get teamed up early. I got to settle down. I got to settle down. That was a rifle of a shot that we just saw there. Calvert's got to take a deep breath, settle down, and start to deal and distribute like he's done all season long.
Chinged up?
It was the name of this product we had in the weight room that disappeared slightly after that.
Maybe we should just leave it at that. On 2nd and 10, here's Calvert loading up, checking down. Mack with the Eagles keeping the Flames all in front of them. Raynard Ellis, the sophomore middle linebacker, rallies to the football to force 3rd down.
Incredible speed by this Eagles defense running to the football. Watch them flow. Once they recognize that Calvert doesn't have anywhere to go and he hits his check down, look at the blue helmets running the football. You got safeties, you got linebackers, you got D linemen all out there in the flat trying to help their guys out.
3rd and long again for Liberty. Calvert stepping up in the pocket, pressured and sacked inside the 30-yard line. Dylan Springer brings down Buckshot. Calvert to force another Liberty punt.
This defensive line for Georgia Southern's getting out of it after it. Here he is on the bottom of his screen. Just works that inside leverage with that right hand. Allows him to beat the tackle and collapse the pocket. That's an excellent job on that outside edge by Springer, getting his defense off the field. We're seeing some pretty dang good up front play here so far through this first quarter.
You see the 3 tackles for loss already for the Eagles, so you get a first down and you're still punting it from inside your 20. Alvis hangs it, Kennedy lets it bounce, and it takes a Liberty roll inside the 30-yard line where the Flames will down it there. So still scoreless to start. Finally, Antonio Gandy-Golden gets a touch, but Dylan Springer brings down Buckshot.
Welcome back to Orlando. No score yet here in the Cure Bowl, but this bowl game is so much more than just the game. Earlier this week, players from both Liberty and Georgia Southern both took a visit to the UF Health Cancer Center to check out all the amazing work that is being done there. On top of that, players from Liberty also took time out of their busy schedule to visit with Grayson. Now, Dawn Coleman is the former star of the Liberty women's basketball team from 91 to 94. Her son, Grayson, back in November, was diagnosed with bone cancer. He is at the Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children, which is about just 10 minutes from here. Well, Jesse Lemonnier and JT Wood from Liberty went to pay Grayson a visit. They certainly lifted his spirits, tossed around a football with him, and definitely helped out a single mother who needed some help with her son. Great effort by both of these schools pitching into this local community.
Fantastic, John. We appreciate that. Of course, the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl, presented by the Orlando Sports Foundation, benefiting the Cancer Research Foundation, bringing teams together to find a cure for cancer. Georgia Southern still looking for its first down. Wirtz will be tackled as he gets across the 30-yard line, and it is Scruggs who makes the stop. Liberty has been terrific defensively to begin.
This is exactly what you want. We talked to the coaches earlier on in the week, and they told us the best time to play an option team, as you know, is the first game of the year or the last one when you have multiple days to prepare. Clearly, the time and preparation ahead of a top 10 rushing offense has paid dividends for this defensive unit that got better as the year went on.
8 total yards of offense. LaRoche gets the handoff and gives him a shot on 3rd down, but Tillman there on the stop. Gain of only 1 for Matt LaRoche, who missed the Georgia State game because of a concussion. So back on the field for the Eagles for the bowl game.
When we came onto the air, Carter, we showed them the package of the dive, the keep, and the pitch. The Flames are completely taking away the dive. They're winning their inside matchup. Everything comes off of their ability to do that, and they simply haven't been able to. Let's see if they get themselves off the field here on 3rd down.
And you documented Liberty's struggles on 3rd down, but not so far in the early going against the Eagles. So Wirtz, option 3rd and 5, decides to keep it, and Wirtz is stopped short. Again on 4th down, the Eagles. Clark leads the way. They needed 5, only got 3, and now the punt unit comes on.
But you saw that. They were thinking about going for it there. Clearly that decision is based upon how well their defense is playing. The strategy today for Georgia Southern is to play keep away. They haven't gotten the first down yet because Liberty's defense has been all over the field. The coaching staff was thinking about being aggressive there and wisely decided to put their punt team on the field again.
And you will see a variety of formations on both offense and special teams for Georgia Southern. So all eyes open for Liberty. Low punt. Gets it to roll inside the 15. Well, Anthony Beck is doing his job for Georgia Southern. Stubbs just lets this one go, and it rolls all the way back to the 12, right around the spot where he touched it last. So good start for Anthony Beck and the Georgia Southern defense.
Both of these defenses have really stepped up. They started with back-to-back 3-and-outs, but the Eagles are getting after it. The strength of their defense is their front 7, but the pass rush, getting them into 3rd and long situations, is the best way to get yourself off the field. But take a look at the rush yards. Liberty ran for over 300 yards a week ago. Today, -2, and Georgia Southern, a top 10 rush offense, 12.
You could go rush yards, pass. I mean, there just haven't been any yards except in the punt game. 1 offensive first down, and it belongs to Liberty. Hickson is in the backfield, and Hickson gets the stop, and same as it has been the first 2 possessions for Liberty, it is nothing doing up front. Gain of only 1 on 1st down. Ellis again with the stop.
You know, it's interesting, Carter, when he spoke with Hugh Freeze this week, he talked about the humility as a play caller, having to play complementary offense to support his defense. The first drive, when they went 3-and-out, they only held the ball for 51 seconds. These runs up inside aren't necessarily because Liberty's planning on getting yards there. It's also about bleeding the clock to keep their defense fresh.
On 2nd and 8, Calvert just has to dump it. That could be grounding. We'll see. Calvert, as soon as he was rolling out of the pocket, Ellis was there to meet him.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. Number 40 was in the vicinity of the pass. 3rd down.
Another good explanation from Kevin Hassel, but it results in 3rd and long again.
Just a green dog blitz from the second level. Watch the backer. He sees that it's not a run. He unhinges and suddenly becomes a pass rusher. Very good design and strategy here by both these defenses early, because neither offense has had any sort of rhythm.
Well, I guarantee you complimentary football may be going out the window right now when there's nothing on offense for the Flames. Trying to change that on 3rd and 8. And here's Calvert stepping up, flinging complete, and that's complete to Stubbs. So Stubbs had the muff in the punt, makes up for it with a grab for a 1st down and a gain of 15.
And this is exactly what Liberty wants, that first down, so that they can get into some tempo and tilt the scales their direction.
It's the first 3rd down conversion of the game. Calvert to the air again, complete on the outside. There's Shaw as the Flames try to find an offensive rhythm.
There was a wide open wide receiver that time. Johnny Huntley, the tight end, was completely uncovered. Calvert could have hit him there for a huge gain.
All start. Got rolling a little too early prior to 2nd down.
Offsides with contact. Number 96, defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, scratch that. Break for Liberty as Ty Phillips is the one who drew the early snap. 1st down by penalty, 2nd for Georgia Southern. This is a team that doesn't commit a lot of penalties. They've given up 2 1st downs via the flag.
2nd in the conference. But half of the 1st downs today by Liberty are because of penalties.
Hickson, nothing much doing. Rashad Bird, the junior from North Augusta, South Carolina, makes the stop. He's their leading tackler. And Rashad brought us on the air today with the story of his mother Caroline's fight with cancer.
Notice the change of pace for Liberty here as well. They're letting that play clock bleed down considerably.
Calvert wide open over the middle. Huntley breaks free, and it is touchdown, Liberty. The Flames strike first. Just a couple snaps ago, Aaron, you saw Huntley wide open. Liberty comes back to it, and it's a touchdown from Calvert to Huntley. His 1st of the year for the Florida native. Probert on for the PAT. PAT sneaks in there 7-0 on a 57-yard TD strike. So thinking right along with you, AT. Buckshot to Johnny Huntley. Touchdown. Wipe out all that bad offense for Liberty. The Flames are in the end zone.
Welcome back to Orlando, where we finally have some offense. Keep your eye here on the tight end that's going to run a wheel route. You'll see the overhang player that's there for the RPO is going to turn his back and completely lose sight of Johnny Huntley, the tight end. They ran this play 3 or 4 plays before it. The quarterback didn't see him, but this time Buckshot was on the spot for the first score of the day.
More yards on that 57-yard TD than the previous 23 plays combined, and that continues your first quarter differential, which is stunning really between Liberty and Georgia Southern. So Calvert on the drive goes 3 for 3, 79 yards, and the 57-yard TD for the first bowl touchdown, and it comes appropriately enough for Liberty on a big play through the air.
Tight end wheel route.
Right. Probert kickoff. Kennedy inside the 5. Kennedy stuffed inside the 25-yard line. Mark him down at the 21. Tomorrow afternoon, 4 Eastern, we head to Connecticut for some women's hoops as Oklahoma takes on the 2nd-ranked UConn Huskies, only on CBS Sports Network. Well, good news for Gino Auriemma. Successful surgery this week. He will not be coaching, but the good news for UConn fans is Chris Daly is undefeated in games filling in for Gino Auriemma. So wishing Coach good health and a Merry Christmas. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, John Triffin from downtown Orlando, Florida, where Georgia Southern not only trails 7-0, don't have a first down. So Wirtz to the air, and it is incomplete. Intended for Kennedy. There is a flag down. Benton there in coverage. First pass of the game, and it draws a flag.
I wonder if it's going to be pass interference on Liberty.
Holding. Defense number 31 against an eligible receiver. This is a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Results in an automatic first down.
It's Elijah Benton making contact before the ball's thrown in the air. Keep an eye on the right side of your screen. Right underneath our beautiful CBS I logo up there at the top, but clearly you saw the multiple contact. Now it's Liberty, who also has been pretty good in the penalty department. And here's our bobsled formation.
All right, bobsled. See if they're cool running it. And Wirtz is tackled by Ajayi. First time you see the bobsled.
Liberty wanted to come in here and have success on early downs. They've done a masterful job of that. 2 yards is not enough for Georgia Southern to start to hunt. They want to avoid being in 3rd and medium plus, but that's going to be really hard to do if they can only get a couple yards on first down.
The only first down for Georgia Southern was the holding penalty. King and LaRoche with Wirtz in the backfield. Wirtz, here's a toss on the reverse, and it's Kennedy, and it's wide open on the edge for a first down. Kennedy down the sideline, walking the tightrope into Liberty territory, and the Eagles break their first big one on the ground. Benton finally makes the stop.
Liberty's done a great job of flowing to the football. Nothing's been working, so the great way to coach against this, look at all the hats start to go inside. They're bad with their eyes, dirty eyes. You take advantage by running a reverse and use that speed and quick reaction against them.
That's a gain of 35 for Wesley Kennedy. They only had 14 yards prior to that run by Kennedy. And now King on the edge, dragging a Liberty defender for a gain of 8. It's starting to open up on the ground for the Eagles. Benton went for a ride.
King's a big physical wide receiver. You see, gives that stiff arm with that left arm right there. That's just enough to get that shoulder across and get north and south, use some leg drive to pick up some really valuable yards. 8 yards on first down is the exact sort of production that this offense has lacked here in the first quarter.
3 touchdowns for King against Georgia State in what they now call Hate Week. Wirtz complete, first completion. Murray has it, and Murray takes it inside the 20. Ridden out of bounds, first down, first completion of the game for Georgia Southern. Alexander makes the stop, gain of 8. You go back to December 2nd of 2017 at Coastal Carolina. That's the last time that Shai Wirtz threw an interception. So it's now 227 passes without an interception going back to the end of his freshman year.
And that was a beautiful touch pass there. If Georgia Southern can continue to throw the football on the perimeter, that's going to give Liberty all sorts of problems.
King and Kennedy in the backfield with Wirtz. He'll keep it himself and take it to the 16-yard line. Ajayi rides him out. Second down.
Points are going to be at a premium in this game. Georgia Southern this year has been so-so in the red zone. Only 57.9%, 58% in the red zone for touchdowns. Field goals are not going to win against an offense as explosive as we've seen Liberty already be in this game. So getting a touchdown here is critical, because if Liberty can get a 10-plus more point lead, it's going to be really hard for Southern to close the gap.
Wirtz second down in the red zone. Option, right side. Wirtz is going to keep it. Ridden down and dropped for no gain. Dupree makes the stop. That's Tyron Dupree, the redshirt freshman, playing it well on the edge to force third down.
Gap exchange there, beautiful job. The tight end right here lets his guy go. He can't do that. He's got to find a way to pick up Dupree, who ends up being involved in the tackle. You never leave color, even if it's not your guy. Don't let him cross your face. That was not a good job by there on the tight end. Brings up a huge third down as the first quarter comes to an end.
So after the slow offensive start, Liberty strikes first with a 57-yard touchdown pass. And now Georgia Southern is rolling into the red zone. It'll be 3rd down from the 10 to begin the second quarter in Orlando. In between the first and second quarters, a celebration of the survivors and fighters honored here today as part of the Cure Bowl, the Breast Cancer Research Foundation dedicated to ending breast cancer by advancing the world's most promising research. Get involved at bcrf.org. Bringing teams together to find a cure for cancer. Our mission here at the Cure Bowl. And on the field, we begin the second quarter with 3rd and 5 in the red zone for Georgia Southern.
A lot of space up there at the top of the screen, but down here in the red zone, don't be surprised if the Eagles run their quarterback here in the boundary.
Wirtz to the left side. Kennedy, the pitch man, takes it, has the first down, stretches, and he is in for the touchdown. Georgia Southern in the end zone on the option from Wirtz to Kennedy from 10 yards out.
Nailed it. So much speed on the outside edge. This is what you want. You get the first down, but then dropping your shoulder, fighting your way into the end zone. Kennedy puts this team in a position to even the ball game up. That's the exact play, and the timeout at the end of the quarter really helped that staff dial up something that was very, very successful.
Tyler Bass on for the PAT. It is good. Georgia Southern didn't have a first down until this drive, and then they get it rolling all the way into the end zone. Wirtz to Kennedy. Touchdown, Southern. Now, this is what we expected between Liberty. You get a big play in the pass game, 57-yard touchdown, and then Georgia Southern, you probe. And Gus, I mean, he wears a smile on his face no matter what. But when there's 7 on the board, it's closer to being earned.
Gus is all happy because he knows their offense just GATA.
And not to be confused with Freedom, who is the Eagle mascot who we saw in flight before kickoff. Strong mascot game all around. Touchback to the 25 gives us a chance to check in with Brent in New York.
Guys, the New Mexico Bowl, the Aztecs, a team you know quite well, and Ryan Agnew unleashes 74 yards to Jesse Matthews. Matthews, a freshman, the first 2 touchdowns of his career coming in this first half. They lead Central Michigan 20-3 in the second quarter. Guys?
Oh, it is fire up Chips versus the gutty little Aztecs in Albuquerque, and spicy like Tito and Mary's there in Albuquerque for San Diego State.
Good to see that offense starting to fire and hum on all cylinders. It was a rough year for them, but they found some production here late in the season.
So a touchdown drive last time for Buckshot Calvert and the Flames. Handoff goes to Mack, gets a couple. Antonio Gandy Golden has 1 catch so far for the Liberty Flames. So the matchup that we've been watching between Kendall Vildor, the cornerback, and Antonio Gandy Golden, have only thrown it to him once for 8 yards.
I'm more concerned about the number of targets that's at 1 than I am with the catches. They got to try to feed him the football.
So 2nd and 8, Calvert, deep shot downfield, looking the other way for Shaw, and it is incomplete. I love the demonstrativeness of Brinson on the edge. He was laying flat on the ground, still signaling incomplete.
There's pressure off both sides of these edges. The pocket is collapsing, denting that pocket. Somebody right in Calvert's face. His production considerably goes down with pressure in his face, just like we saw there. That's exactly what this Eagle defense hopes to do on those obvious passing situations.
Calvert was perfect on the touchdown drive. Now on 3rd and 8. Over the middle, deep shot, incomplete, contact. Here's the flag, and it looks like it's on Brinson. McQuavion Brinson in coverage.
Flag is down.
And that's an unfortunate penalty because the pass rush got there and threw an errant pass. Brinson panicked, grabbed a hold of the receiver, and is going to extend the change for the Flames.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Talk about complementary football on the offensive side. You have to play that on the defensive side as well. Brinson, with the help of his pass rush, would have came out on top of that play with a positive. Instead, it's a penalty, and the Flames are marching.
3 penalties on Georgia Southern. All 3 have resulted in first downs.
They're second in their conference with only 40 penalty yards per game. Not off to a good start.
Calvert complete on the edge. Go right back to Douglas. He was the intended target. He's the true freshman from Jacksonville, Florida. Just 7 catches on the year, but Hugh Freeze definitely told us Douglas will factor into the game plan. They've targeted him on the last 2 plays.
There's no question. Had a couple catches in their last game. That's one of these young players that Hugh Freeze is excited about that can help this offense.
On second down, shot on the RPO, and it is caught inside the 25-yard line. What a grab by Noah Frith. Goes up to get it on Brinson for 30.
They may want to take a look at this to make sure that he comes down with this football. Frith, a big target. Looks pretty good there. And
now
Liberty gets the ball off, so it's a moot point.
Now it's in the books, and a little slip on the edge. There's Douglas inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, Liberty. The freshman leading the way on this drive for the Flames.
Just making plays. This is exactly what Liberty wants. They get the first down, they hit the gas pedal. Now you've got Frith, who got the ball down here, one-on-one here at the bottom, 6'4". I'd take that shot.
First and goal, handoff, Mack, cutback, touchdown, Flames. Liberty back on top. So a drive that was extended by a penalty on Georgia Southern ends up in a touchdown run for Joshua Mack.
And credit that offensive line that had struggled mightily earlier on in the first quarter. Found a way to get it done inside the 5-yard line when it mattered most. The Flames go to the run game, and it pays off.
Probert PAT is no good. It is no good. That ball is dead. And it's 13-7. Hugh Freeze upset with his kicking game. But offense, Fred wrestles it away to set up the Liberty Flames. Then Douglas shaking his way to first and goal, and Mack punches it in. Touchdown, Liberty. Flames on top in Central Florida. Joshua Mack from Pittsford, New York takes it in for the touchdown, but only 6 on the board. And there's times when you can read body language from a coach and really understand what he's thinking, because that PAT was just a shank there from the kicker, Alex Probert. And the whole snap, hold looked good. Hugh Freeze disappointed, to say the least.
Those are the plays that get you beat. The operation was a clean one. Probert just pushed it. He shanked it. It happens. That's one of those situations, though, in a game that's kind of gone the way that this one has, that could loom large as we move on.
Probert's kickoff. Kennedy backs up, has it in the end zone, touchback to the 25-yard line. Tomorrow, the NFL on CBS features a full slate of games with playoff implications, including the Ravens looking for a win over the Browns to secure home field advantage, or the Jets seeking to spoil the Steelers' postseason plans. It all begins with JB and the guys on the NFL Today at noon Eastern on CBS. Jerome Bettis, named BCRF board member this past July. His mother, Gladys, Jerome has described as the toughest person I know, and it is very very personal for the Bucs.
It certainly is. She had to raise that knucklehead. That's why she's so tough.
You're good buddy, Jerome, right? You say it from a place of love. As Wirtz drops it as the 30. You can call me a knucklehead anytime, AT.
Well, I remember Gladys would always make food when we would play Michigan and go to the Detroit area where the bus was from. But you take a look at the first 4 possessions for this Eagles offense, and that's not what you want the first 3 times out. The second drive there, 7 plays for 79 yards and the touchdown, were aided because of the pass game out in the flats that allowed them to move the sticks.
What would Gladys make?
Greens, turkey, barbecue, pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie.
Hungry right now. King takes the toss. 3rd and short. Yeah, you'll take that all day.
That was the thing in college. There's nothing better than the home-cooked meal. You were always glad when you played in the hometown of one of your teammates.
Jerome got good growing food.
Well, you look how big he is. They didn't call him the bus for nothing.
3rd and 5 for the Eagles after the touchdown drive. Other than that TD drive, as you saw, nothing on offense. So Liberty trying to get him 3 and out again.
And I think this has to be a perimeter play or some sort of play-action pass.
Fake the toss, and now Wirtz on the roll. Pressured, so he just dumps it to the sideline, incomplete. And Liberty celebrates with the pressure on Shai Wirtz. Solomon Ajayi from Plano, Texas.
There was an eligible receiver in the vicinity of the pass. 4th down.
You take a look at this. I like the call of play action, but there's nowhere to throw the football. Everybody's covered. That's just a great job of Liberty getting the Eagles into a 3rd and medium situation, forcing the throw, and they were ready for it.
The 4th 3 and out for the Eagles. But Wirtz knows how to get rid of the football. Beck will punt it away to DJ Stubbs. A muff on the 1st. Beck gets it away. And Stubbs makes the grab at the 26-yard line. Liberty football with a 13-7 lead on the Eagles.
Welcome back to the Cure Bowl here in Orlando as Liberty leads Georgia Southern 13-7. I am here with Kelly Hailstone, who's the Chief Operating Officer of FBC Mortgage. Kelly, thanks for joining us. First year as the title sponsor for the Cure Bowl. Why did you guys want to get involved?
It's a great opportunity to be involved in a great cause. We got to paint Market Street Station, or paint this morning on the parade. It was fun. All of our employees were really excited to be involved, and just an incredible game today. Awesome atmosphere.
Talk about this atmosphere, because this is the first time a football game has been held in a soccer stadium here in Orlando. What do you think?
It's an awesome venue. This place is loud. There's a lot going on. There should be more of these out here. It's great.
Right. Before I send it back upstairs, Aaron Taylor is the real estate expert. He's always looking for his next project, but he's out in California. Do you think you could hook him up with a mortgage?
Yeah, we're licensed there. Have him go to simpleloan.com. In 8 minutes or less, we can see if we can help him out.
Aaron, he's got you covered.
But the problem is I have a 340 credit score.
Calvert complete. Another big completion at the 45-yard line. It's Noah Frith. And Aaron, you noticed a lot of drops by Frith, and he's not making those today.
Well, he's so pretty, man. He's a big physical target with a lot of skills, but he was dropping the football. That's a great job. You saw him double bobble it there a little bit, but he does bring it down. In my preparation watching this game, he doesn't have the surest of hands, but he sure come up big here early in this game in the first half.
6'4". He's a matchup problem if you get him the football. On 1st down, handoff, hole opens up in the ground game now after the big plays in the pass. Frankie Hickson, the 5th-year senior from Lynchburg, Heritage High School, the Pioneers.
Look at the combination block to the left of the screen right there that allows the back to get north and south. I was down on the field watching this young man earlier. Hickson's not the biggest of guys, but he's short and stocky and got some power. That time he was patient. And man, if Liberty can get some success on the run game with that and combine that to their RPO play action passing, it could be a long afternoon for the Eagles.
Only 7 rushing yards before that one for 21 for Frankie Hickson, who had a career day in the finale, the home win over New Mexico State. Liberty also won in Las Cruces.
That last game was incredible, Carter. You mentioned that because They had 317 rushing yards, averaged 6.5 yards per carry, had 5 touchdowns. You compare that to what they had against Syracuse in week 1 of minus rushing yards. They've come a long, long way when they can get that run game going.
More on the Orange later.
Of course there are. The alma mater of my esteemed partner.
And other broadcasters. More on that later. 2nd and 6 here for Hugh Freeze and the Liberty Flames. Offensive coordinator, quarterback coach Kent Austin. Calvert hit as he throws, and it is a wobbling, incomplete pass. Rashad Byrd blows up Buckshot Calvert. Helmet comes off. That means he has to come out for one play.
12's helmet came off during the play, and he must remain out of the game for one play. 3rd down.
So here's Landon Brown, who has attempted only 10 passes on the year.
He reads run and just beats the back block by the guard. It was a play action pass. Calvert wanted to throw it, but because Byrd unhinged so quickly, that's about as good and clean a linebacker play as you can get.
So the sophomore from Tulsa, Lincoln Christian, in for at least 1 snap. But first, I think Hugh Freeze is going to use a timeout here so that you can get Calvert back into the game.
In an injury situation, you can't buy your way back in. But when a helmet pops off, you can't avoid it by using a timeout. They have 3. It's a 3rd down. You're at the very high red zone. This is the absolute place to make that call that Freeze just did.
Kevin Hassel and the crew getting together to make sure they've got it all squared away. Yeah, we still don't have the official announcement. Here it is.
The result of the previous play was an incomplete pass. The clock continued to run. Would the game clock operator please put 10 minutes and 9 seconds on the game clock, please? The clock will start on the snap. Liberty is elected to take a timeout. Timeout Liberty, they're first.
So 10:09 to go in the second for the Liberty Flames. It is the first bowl game, first year of eligibility for a bowl game. They had to win 7 games to be eligible for a bowl. They got that win over New Mexico State. First season for Hugh Freeze, who's already received a contract extension. Founded in 1971 on Liberty Mountain, Jerry Falwell. The enrollment of over 100,000 is because they have had all the way back to the 1980s one of the biggest online and back in those days correspondence on VHS tape. So there are Liberty alums all around the nation, all around the world, and a huge contingent of students came down. How about this? For the students had a deal. For $25 you could get on the bus in Lynchburg, Virginia and come down to Orlando for the game. So many students took the deal for $25 on the bus. They said now we can charter planes. So they chartered 2 planes for $25 round trip, come to Orlando, get some nice weather, watch the bowl game, support the Flames, and then turn around and go back.
And you also notice that Stephen Buckshot Calvert is back in the game, as we talked about earlier. We'll mention it again. By Hugh Freeze taking that timeout, he can buy his quarterback back into the game on this important 3rd down situation.
First 3rd down of the drive. Hickson motions back with Calvert. Buckshot punt, dumps it off, and it is incomplete. Incomplete pass, trying to check it down to Hickson, but the Georgia Southern defensive line, Quinn Williams, applies the pressure on Calvert to force 4th down, and the kicking unit is on.
It was going to be a screen pass, but if you're Frankie Hickson, number 23, the running back, you have to do a better job of slowing up the rusher. You still want to let him go by, but you have to buy your quarterback a little bit more time. They didn't do that, and it forces this field goal situation.
Probert has made 5 straight field goal attempts, but missed a PAT, and this one is no good. So Probert with a missed PAT, and now a missed field goal, and on the Georgia Southern sideline, celebration from Chad Lunsford and from Gus. 13-7, Liberty on top, but they have missed an opportunity for 4 more in the kicking game.
One of the fun aspects of the 2019 FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl is the first all-female radio crew to call a football bowl subdivision game on a national radio network on Bowl Day Radio. Jamie Say, Danny Welniak, and Melanie Newman on the call. Jamie Say, the WAER sports director, 1997, 1998 at Syracuse University. One of my first bosses in the business. And there's Melanie Newman, who has spent the season with Liberty University football, so well-versed on the Flames. And Danny is an accomplished football player in her own right and sports director in Kansas City, Missouri. And it is with great pleasure that we now send you to Jamie Say, Danny Welniak, and Melanie Newman on the call.
2 or 3 on that play.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Danny.
I was going to say the dual backs back there are a lot of the reason that you can set up plays like that, give Wirtz a potential option play, and that is why that was semi-successful.
Yeah, gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Ball at the 33 of Georgia Southern. Liberty leads the Cure Bowl 13-7 in the second quarter with 9:29 to go before halftime. 2 in the backfield. It's Kennedy and King behind Shai Wirtz. And Wirtz is going to keep. Now option pitch to King. Takes 1 hit. He's still on his feet, and he's finally dragged out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Gain of 2.
Another one of those options I was talking about with Wirtz taking control of that one. The fake to the left linebacker expands, opens up the middle of the field, and it's another way of kind of being able to run the outside pitch, even a quarterback draw. So if the linebacker stays inside and forces the QB to bounce it out outside of the tackle.
3rd and 5 for Georgia Southern. Eagles at their own 35-yard line. Wirtz breaks the huddle, operating from the pistol. 2 receivers split out to either side. Wesley Kennedy is the lone setback. Wirtz takes the snap, wants to throw, steps up in the pocket. Now he rolls out to his right, fires complete, but short of the first down. Making the catch was Caleb Hood, a freshman, but he's about 2 yards shy.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch, short of the line to gain, 4th down.
Well, our viewers may not be happy about it, but it's back to Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, and John Schriffen on the call. You know, Jamie and I, in the 99-2000 Syracuse women's basketball season, I got the job as the analyst working with Jamie Say's play-by-play because a young man named Adam Zucker took a TV job in Scranton and opened up the gig for me. So Jamie's one of my best friends in broadcasting, and pretty awesome to be sharing mics today.
The Orange Mafia lives.
Stubbs backs up, fair catch inside the 20-yard line. 13 on the board for the Liberty Flames, but special teams already looming large with 2 missed kicks from Probert.
Probert's been a problem. He's left 4 points off the scoreboard, missed a PAT, then missed a field goal. The challenge here as a kicker is making sure that your mindset is right. And Hugh Freeze also has to make sure that his mindset is right. When a game can be a small one where it's 6 points now dividing between these teams, because remember, what's been true all season long for Georgia Southern is that they're a much better second half team, and the Flames are the opposite. They tend to peter out. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Calvert, play action, loading up, and it is tipped, and it is incomplete. Intended for Frith on the edge, and dangerous. Vildor knocks it in the air, keeping it away from Frith.
Kendall Vildor is one of those players, number 20 for Georgia Southern, that has a chance to play on the next level. He's playing against a big physical receiver. He's manned up one-on-one, just comes back in great position, gets his right hand on the football. Left hand, excuse me, and there's the lack of strong hands that we've seen from Frith. That's a ball he should have and could have caught.
Mack in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Buckshot, Calvert, fake it, toss it incomplete. Had it on the RPO for Fouts, the tight end, but it is off his hands. Good coverage from Bowdry. 10 coming.
That's what makes this offense go, Carter. You're exactly right. The RPO that time, he was covered pretty well. That ball would have had to be very thinly thrown in there to get it to Fouts. Fouts only has 8 catches on the season. He's not really used as a target. They took a chance there, but it didn't pay off.
On 3rd down, just 1 for 3 so far for Calvert. Loading up, check down. Mack has it, no room. Oh, he slips away, and Mack has the first down. Breaking tackles to get a much-needed first down. Williams had the chance.
Poor tackling out on the edge has been a problem in this first half for Georgia Southern. Wrap up right there. Don't dive at the ground. That's Vildor, the player that just made a great play the play before. Cost his team big time there.
Mack, nothing doing. Ty Phillips and Rashad Byrd on the stop on first down.
And I got to tell you, man, Georgia Southern's hurting itself, allowing this Liberty Flames offense to move the sticks by either penalty or missed tackles. It's the errors that are costing them.
Mack was close to stepping out, stayed in bounds, got the first down. Byrd showing pressure. Thought they were ready to draw the Flames off sides on second down. Byrd gets back. Fake the run, toss it, tipped at the line, and it's almost picked. Incomplete. Ellis had a chance at making it. The transfer from Furman, and instead it's an incompletion and third down again.
Keep your eye. This play prevents another first down. Great job by the defensive line getting your hand up, and it was almost an interception. One of the things that Stephen Calvert has done a remarkable job year over year of avoiding. A season ago among the worst in the FBS with 18, but because of that big meat paw there by Phillips, it forces another third down. That was a wide open, well-designed play that Liberty couldn't capitalize on.
On 3rd and 8. Calvert, time to throw in the pocket. Incomplete. Behind the intended receiver on 3rd and 8. He was looking for Hundley, who had the 57-yard touchdown. Rashad Byrd right there with them.
Great stop that time by Georgia Southern getting themselves off the field. After the missed tackle on 3rd down, they did a nice job of finding a way to get pressure, and an errant thrown pass there late gives them a chance to get the ball back and put some more points on the board.
Alvis will punt. Hangs it high, trying to kick it away from Kennedy, who's been a dangerous return man and does exactly that. We'll see where they spot it, right around the 30-yard line at the 32. Georgia Southern with the football, trailing by 6. In their final game as an FCS team, as we continue to celebrate college football at 150, Georgia Southern in the Swamp to take on the Gators. Eagles led by a pair of seniors that day, Kevin Ellison. An explosive 45-yard touchdown run. Jarek McKinnon's turn late in the 4th quarter to give Georgia Southern the historic 26-20 win. And this is an Eagle program that is used to winning all the way back to the 1920s. And head coaches including Paul Johnson, Willie Fritz, who won this game with Tulane, and then 2-0 in bowl games. But you talk about that winning tradition as the rain begins to fall here in Orlando. When Chad Lunsford took over the program that was down, October 2017, took over as interim head coach amidst a 6-game losing streak. They finished 2-10 that year, then rallied to win 9 last year. Camellia Bowl win. So really reestablishing. Words to the air. Deep shot. Downfield. Ransom. Incomplete. And even with the rain falling, Georgia Southern airs it out on first down. Benjamin Alexander in coverage.
Benjamin Alexander plays that rover position and was in phase the entire time. You cannot cover somebody any more closely than he did there. But it appears that Coach H isn't too happy. Remember, the receivers, both the offense and defense, have equal rights to the ball. That ball was well defended. I like the first down decision to throw, though.
Back to the ground game on second down. LaRoche has it straight ahead to give you 3rd and manageable for Bob DeBest, the offensive coordinator, and the Eagles.
Carter, it's been amazing how well Liberty has defended these guys. Take a look at this. The Eagles, 5 3 and outs, only 4 first downs.
That was the touchdown drive, right? Yeah, and that was the one touchdown drive for the Eagles.
Here we go with the bobsled. First time we're seeing it here on third down with that formation in the backfield.
Wirtz out of the bobsled on the left, trying to turn the corner. Flames run him down again, and it's Brandon Tillman, the senior from Lexington, South Carolina, back from a broken wrist, suffered at UVA. He was one of the big question marks health-wise. Tillman's out there and forces fourth down.
Just a great job of the second-level defenders defeating their blocks, maintaining leverage, and just enclosing the defense. When you can flatten out the offense and cancel gaps at the same time, good things happen. Liberty has been all over the option attack of the Eagles today. Clearly, that time off and the preparation getting ready for this game definitely has paid off.
Eagles show a wrinkle in the punt game. They've been known to run the option out of a punt formation. Flag down. Looks like a false start, and it is on the edge.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 18, 5-yard penalty. It remains fourth down.
It's uncharacteristic for this Georgia Southern team. We've mentioned it before. They're one of the best in their conference at playing clean football. Only 40 yards per game. They're almost there already in the first half.
Let it roll inside the 20-yard line, and Stubbs decides not to catch it, and that costs him about 10 yards, so they'll have it in the 10 as Stubbs backs away. So Hugh Freeze, first season coaching the Liberty Flames, but it has been a long and winding road, and you go Hugh Freeze back to the health problems. Thankfully, as we talked to Coach Freeze this week, said the health is improving. Still a lot of stiffness, about 10 months the recovery time, but I mean, you go from the hospital bed to he told us the interesting vantage point, and maybe the one he liked the most, was basically from the
cart cam.
From the cart cam.
Yeah, he told us he was absolutely worthless those first 2 weeks in terms of helping out this offense. He came back in week 3 and they beat Buffalo.
Hickson right side, driven back. Duncan leads the way for the Eagle D.
And this is what you expect from the Eagles up front, that physicality. They've been torched through the air at times, giving up big explosive plays. I watched the Arkansas State game, getting ready for this. It's very similar to this Liberty offense, but the Flames, that run game, about 10% of what they got in their last out against New Mexico State. They've got to get that run game heated up.
Pressure off the edge, nearly had it in the backfield, and then Bird rallies 2nd and 8, and Chad Lunsford does have all 3 timeouts. Third down coming here. Elects not to use one. I mean, you're 4+ left. That was nearly grabbing the backfield.
Rashad Bird did an excellent job. He leads this team in tackles for a great reason. To be good at that position, you have to have good instincts, read your keys, and trigger quickly, just like he did there. Now it's time for this pass rush that has been a problem all game long, particularly on this part of the field, has to find a way to get itself home.
Calvert on third down. Out. Gandy Golden goes to get it. And he had to make an adjustment with the ball in flight to grab that one. And that's why you see Antonio Gandy Golden's terrific hands.
What you didn't see was how well this route was run by AGG on Vildor. That's a matchup that a lot of NFL scouts were interested to watch. Those are the 2 players on the field that have the best shot to go to the next level, and 11 won that matchup big time.
His career, nearly 3,800 yards and 32 touchdowns. And everyone around Liberty football describes Antonio Gandy Golden as one of the more focused players in the program. It is school and football, and that's where Antonio Gandy Golden has become one of the best wide receivers in all of college football.
1,700+ yard games in his career have been productive from the day he stepped on the football. Here he is down here in one-on-one coverage with Vildor again.
Handoff, Hickson, nothing doing. Third down coming again. Springer leads the way. That's a loss of 1. Another tackle for loss along with Bird. And with 2:37, you're in third down again. And Georgia Southern does not use a timeout here.
these front sevens have been pretty explosive. It's an interesting decision by Georgia Southern not to take the timeout here. I would have done that, but given how limited they are with the pass game, maybe he's thinking how much ever time there is, we need all the timeouts we can get, because this is an offense that's based upon running the ball, but this defense has to get itself off the field before that can happen.
So Liberty snaps third down, just north of 2 minutes left in the half, and Calvert on the roll. Calvert will dance out of bounds exactly 2 minutes. Georgia Southern has all 3 timeouts, and here's where you point out that the Eagles have 6 non-offensive touchdowns on the year.
Here he is over here on this outside edge.
Georgia Southern, their first charge timeout of the half. This will be 30 seconds in length. 30-second timeout.
Timeout even though Calvert gets out of bounds.
Not the cleanest of operations there in the gates. A really good rush that time by Johnson. 92, beating both the left tackle and the back. That's great defensive line play. Winning their matchups one-on-one, helping those DBs out that have already given up 187 yards through the air on that back end. So we've seen special teams be a factor for the Eagles all season long. We just showed you rain. We've seen some wind at times. This is a perfect opportunity for the Eagles to try to get some points here as this first half comes to a close, because Liberty gets the ball back to start the second half.
Kennedy backing up, calls for the fair catch, has it at the 27-yard line. Minute 54, 2 timeouts left for Georgia Southern. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Kevin Carter, and Aaron Murray, scores and highlights from around the other bowl games today, and first half analysis of the 5th annual Cure Bowl from Orlando, Florida. And just to clean up the timeout there from Lunsford, the ball would have been marked ready for play. Clock would have been rolling there. So you do save some time with that timeout, but not as much as you would have saved prior to 4th down. But regardless, 1 timeout used there. Georgia Southern has the 2 timeouts. But now you want to make sure you don't give it back to Liberty for a quick strike at the end of the half. So give your offense a chance to move the football.
That's why this first down play is so critical.
Wirtz on the roll. Wirtz with a stiff arm, shakes his way for a first down and gets out of bounds right around the 39.
That was an empty formation, 5 wide receivers. I'm not so sure that this wasn't a designed quarterback run. Shai Wirtz is so explosive. Some of his biggest runs of the year haven't come on option plays. They've come on plays like draws we just saw there. It's 9 yards and stops the clock. Beautiful execution there. At some point, they've got to put the football in the air, and that's where those 2 timeouts are going to come in handy, because they can't keep running it.
Wirtz, flag is down. Shot incomplete. Here comes a second flag. 2 flags on the play.
That might be a cut block by the right tackle.
The result of the play was an incomplete pass. During the play, personal foul, chop block, offense number 60 and number 66 and number 50. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains second down.
Here they are right here. It's slide protection, but if you're going to cut, you can't cut a defensive player that's engaged with another offensive player. It's a rule that they put in there to make sure guys stayed safe. And that was a great call in eyes. You saw multiple flags, lots of laundry thrown on that one. And that's about as bad of a play that you can have, because it costs you time and you lose yardage.
And again, this is uncharacteristic of Georgia Southern with the penalties in this first half, because they have been a clean football team all year. Wirtz stepping up. Wirtz is going to take a deep shot downfield, and it is intercepted. The most unlikely interception. It's the first thrown by Wirtz since December 2nd, 2017. And it gives the Flames the football with 1:36 in the half.
Ruling on the field is an interception. First down, Liberty.
This is the first interception he's thrown all season, and this is just a great job after the push-off that he gets away with by Scruggs going up and getting that football. Clearly there was contact, but with equal rights to the ball. Take a look at that, his first interception since December 2nd of 2017. 230 pass attempts later, and it was a costly one.
And it is back-to-back games with an interception for Javon Scruggs. Had an INT in the end zone. New Mexico State and now Calvert in the offense take over. Minute 36, still 2 timeouts. Calvert pumps. He's looking long, and they got it again. Tight end Huntley has it. A 57-yard TD earlier for Huntley. Makes the grab here to take him inside the 30. That's a gain of 34.
Another wheel route, but off of a bubble screen look. It froze the defense, and they let him run free again.
Calvert fake it. Pressured. Almost picked. Brinson bobbled it. Eagles nearly got it back. Give and take at the end of the first half.
Just when we were complimenting Calvert off the play action RPO, just a great job by Brinson of breaking on that football, but he does get credit for the pass breakup, which is the school record that LaRon Scott used to have with 36. That was a great play, but the poor ball skills give Liberty another shot.
So 2 quarterbacks who combined for 5 interceptions the entire year, nearly both throw 1 in 3 snaps. Long foul ball.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
And with 2 timeouts, they didn't get the timeout in time.
That's just poor execution. The operation there has been herky-jerky. Hugh Freeze can't be happy with that, particularly because the kicking game isn't what you need. So that lost yardage there really makes it more difficult to convert this. And if you don't, now you're kicking a much longer field goal than you needed to.
So all that ups to take your end zone shots right now.
Have to. Still got 2 timeouts left. So you don't have to go straight to the end zone, but it does make each play that much more critical.
2nd and 15 in the rain. Handoff, Mack, left side. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Loose, football. The Eagles think they have it. Headlinesman comes in to say he was down. Ruling is the runner is down.
As the runner's forward progress was stopped prior to the ball coming loose. 3rd down.
Coach Lunsford, you see there's irate. You see the leg drive there. His forward progress was stopped before that ball came out.
Timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout. 30 seconds in length.
We showed you the rain earlier. It's starting to come down again. That affects ball security more than anything. He also saw a helmet that came off as a result. The ruling on the field was that the player's progress was stopped prior to, before that ball started coming out. Great job going in there and getting the football, but it looked like Mack was going backwards before that ball came out.
Listen for the whistle. I mean, you hear it late. That could be a very big break for Liberty. Then the Flames take the timeout, 1 remaining, but you can certainly understand where Chad Lunsford would be upset with that one. In the books now. Calvert on the roll. 3rd down, end zone. It is tipped and incomplete at the goal line. Duncan gets his hands on it, intended for Frith, but Kendrick Duncan Jr. has a pass breakup that was nearly a pick in the rain.
It's an excellent job going up and getting that football again. Another opportunity to get an interception. Yeah, you like to bat the ball down and you force the field goal. But if Duncan can catch that football, it's game over, and Liberty doesn't even get a chance to take this shot.
Missed from 48. And now Prober. It is good. Missed from 48, got it from 46. The interception turns into 3 for Liberty. 16-7, still a minute 2, and a fired up Eagle sideline.
That's a great response by Probert. He missed a PAT. He missed a field goal. At the end of the first half, he finds a way to nail one. That's tremendous resiliency and mental fortitude by that young man right there, pointing up to the sky. Thank you, Lord, for helping that pigskin go through the uprights. And that's critical, Carter, because Liberty gets this ball back to start the second half. Georgia Southern's done everything that they can to help fan this Flame offense. The question now becomes, how aggressive do you want to be if you're Coach Lunsford with his offense in this situation?
I mean, the one touchdown drive has been it offensively for Georgia Southern, including that interception. It's the first interception thrown by anybody for Georgia Southern. Remember, Wirtz had to miss 3 games because of the injury versus LSU. Tomlin took over, no INTs. The first interception of the season for the Georgia Southern offense. 12th INT for Liberty, turns into 3 points. Touchback, have it at the 25, a minute 2.
Just a reminder of how we got here. The interception, the first of the season by Shai Wirtz. He had 230 straight passes prior to that interception by Scruggs, who got away clearly with a push-off there. Let's see if Wirtz can regain his composure. In this situation, get yourself a first down, dial up your best run plays, try to bleed this clock so you can go in at halftime without giving the ball back to Liberty and get your composure. You're a good second half team if you're the Eagles, and you better be, because you haven't played well here in the first half.
King gets the handoff, just 3, that indicative of where Georgia Southern probably wants to play this. You're in the rain. Well, they're lining up, second down. Snap it in a hurry. Wirtz back to the air. That's caught. Murray on the edge, gets out of bounds. He's short of the first down. Stops the clock with 42.
And it's that inside run game that has been non-existent for the Eagles. Interesting decision there to run with a little bit of tempo. They're being aggressive here. I like it.
You have to convert here, otherwise you give it back again. So Wirtz to the edge. Murray has it, has the first down, move the chains, gets out of bounds. 36 seconds. You give the Eagles a shot. Now for Georgia Southern's kicking game, Tyler Bass has had 2 field goals blocked this year. So you don't want to stretch it out too far where you give Liberty a chance to block a field goal and score themselves on special teams.
No doubt. High percentage passes, don't put the ball in harm's way. Georgia Southern hoping for a missed tackle in space and a house ball.
Wirtz handles a low snap. Pressure coming. Wirtz will be sacked. Lemonnier brings him down. And what will possibly be...
Timeout. Georgia Southern. Their second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length. 30 seconds.
I'm surprised you take a timeout there and try to snap it a couple more times with the way things are going right now for the Eagle offense.
There's no question that drop back pass is not the strength of this team. They're trying to take a shot downfield. Wirtz has a decent arm to be able to get it down there, but this time it's Liberty's defense, led by Jesse Lemonnier, that were able to collapse that pocket and get a sack. A sack is the absolute
Mike's
worst.
the only smart one. He's got the...
Mike, I'm not sure why Mike is the only smart one. Maybe he came prepared for the rain, but oops. Reminder, the microphone is always on. So out of the timeout for Georgia Southern, you got 2nd and 17. We'll see what you come up with out of this one. Wirtz on the roll. They're looking for a long one. Wirtz, deep shot, jump ball. It is to the sideline and incomplete. So now you got 3rd and 17. Boy, there is a myriad of possibilities for the last 22 seconds, each with the timeout.
And because Georgia Southern calls that timeout, if they don't convert this, there's a chance that Liberty's going to get the ball back and maybe able to take a shot at the end zone themselves. Just poor management of the clock in this situation from start to finish here at the end of the first half.
Georgia Southern used the first time out 2 minutes. The clock was exactly at 2 minutes, meaning it would have been ready for play, but that's a long time ago at this point. Wirtz rolling on third down. Wirtz is chased. Lemonnier pressuring him again. Has to just toss it to the sideline. Here comes a flag. It is incomplete. Flag as Wirtz and Lemonnier go tumbling into the Liberty sideline. 12 seconds. Flag is down.
Might be a late hit on the quarterback, giving life to Georgia Southern.
After the quarterback was out of bounds, personal foul. Defense, number 11, late hit. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Lemonnier been playing lights out in this first half. 5 tackles and a sack, but this penalty keeps Georgia Southern's chances at the end of the half alive.
And it's foolish. They're going to call that every time, and they should. Lemonnier is too good of a player. He just had a sack before that. You're breathing life into this Southern team.
And then Lemonnier stays on the sidelines. He was hobbled after that play that drew the penalty. You see him on the Liberty sideline there. Critical defensive leader for the Flames. So J.Odd Sanders takes his place. 12 seconds. Eagles have a timeout.
Liberty keep everything inside and in front.
Target line at the 38. Wirtz lines up, throws incomplete. Off the hands of Murray. 8 seconds. We'll see if the Eagles try to get it to the end zone. I mean, heavy rain. I mean, a long field goal at this point in the rain. Snap, hold, that's tough.
No, you're hoping for a run after the catch to get this football anywhere remotely close. These are not the conditions that you want to try and kick a field goal in this situation. This whole thing seemed kind of disjointed, but to Georgia Southern's credit, they're being aggressive. I just don't like the way that they're going about it.
Target line 38, 8 seconds. Wirtz stepping up in the pocket, chased from behind, and he will be sacked. And it is Sanders who brings him down, and that will end the half. Timeout. Timeout. Let's see.
Prior to the clock expiring, Georgia Southern calls their third and final timeout. Would the game clock operator please put 1 second on the clock? 1 second, please. This will be a 30-second timeout.
This is a huge gamble. Timeout, 1 second, rain. Your quarterback who hasn't thrown an INT all year throws a pick on the last possession. I mean, you have to be very safe with the football. 1 second, one chance at the end of the half.
I started out this drive saying that I like the aggression, but moves like this become borderline foolish. You can see the rain coming down. Center quarterback exchange can be a factor. If you throw an interception with the field conditions being as wet as they are, you give yourself an opportunity to return the football to the Flames. Clearly here you're going for a Hail Mary, hoping for a Hail Mary and some sort of prayer from above. It's just a risk-reward situation that I don't think is warranted.
And yet if you break it, it's a miracle before the half. Wirtz is going to heave it long against the preventee, and it is incomplete. And that is the end of an action-packed conclusion to the first half. 16-7 Liberty on Georgia Southern. Oh, a lot to get into already. We're only halfway done with the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl in Orlando. The FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl presented by the Orlando Sports Foundation, benefiting the Cancer Research Foundation. 16-7 Liberty on Georgia Southern at the half with John Schriffen on the field, Aaron Taylor, Carter Blackburn. Rain falling, a wacky end to the first half. Now, what does that mean for the second half for Georgia Southern trying to come back?
Well, it's been interesting with these two teams coming into today's game. The Flames kind of flame out in the second half after fast starts. Georgia Southern is the opposite. Defensively, what they need to do, the Eagles, is to tackle better, and they have too many mental errors and missed assignments. On the offensive side of the ball, they've had some missed assignments as well, but they've got to find a way to get that ground game going. Liberty has been masterful on defense.
We'll take a look at the Chick-fil-A game summary, and the numbers bear it out. I mean, basically, one good drive for Georgia Southern to the touchdown. Yards per play, 6 yards per play for Liberty. So as you told us before the game, is it going to be big chunk plays for Liberty, or is it going to be Georgia Southern grinding it out? Well, advantage Flames.
Yeah, and you see 6 first downs there for the Eagles as well. 2 of those were by penalties. They've got to get that sorted out. But the same big plays that hurt Georgia Southern against Arkansas State are hurting them today against Liberty.
The Liberty Flames playing in their first bowl game, first year eligible for a bowl game, part of the transition to FBS. Georgia Southern is 2-0 all-time in bowl games, a proud winning tradition for Georgia Southern Eagles football. Last year they won the Camellia Bowl. Shai Werts was the MVP. The quarterback for the Eagles will have to lead a comeback effort here in Orlando. Liberty won the toss and elected to defer. So this is the position they were hoping for, a lead and the football to begin the second half.
This is a 9-point game. This is perilously close to being out of reach for Georgia Southern. If Liberty can start this second half with a score, going to make it really hard for the Eagles to climb their way back into it.
Touchback. Let's check in with John.
Checked in with Liberty head coach Hugh Freeze. He wants to shorten this game in terms of expanding on this lead. Now, obviously, he wants to score some more, but he wants to run this clock in terms of running the ball. He said we're not really effective against their defensive front. What he's going to do is use more 12 personnel to match up better against their big guys up front, because he wants to establish the run here in this second half. As for Georgia Southern, Chad Lunsford said, we've got to get our offense going somehow. Really, the reason why we can't run our offense is because we're not getting second-level blocks. We're not putting blocks on linebackers. If we get to that second level, we'll be more effective on offense. Guys.
It's everything that I saw as well. They're both getting whooped on that side of the ball and breaking down on those second-level defenders. Credit the Flames for being able to snuff out and stay ahead of that option.
12-minute one back, 2 tight ends. Hickson breaks it. So there's Hugh Freeze's desire for the second half after they averaged less than 3 yards per carry in the first, trying to get the ground game going.
As an offensive lineman, this is what you love. You come out and can exert that will. You get lathered up. It gives your offense confidence that that run game is going to be there. Man, you get a chunk play on the first one, their first long run of the game to start the second half. That's going to be very, very good news if they can keep this up.
12 yards on the ground again. Hickson trying to bounce it outside on the left side. Tough tackle from the corner, Brinson. And still another gain for Hickson in the first 2 plays of the second half, both running plays. So the first 2 drives, nothing doing for Liberty. Then it was Calvert through the air, 57-yard touchdown. And then the last 4 drives, that's when the kicking game really bothered Liberty, although a 46-yarder from Probert. Missed field goal, missed PAT, handoff. Hickson wrestled down on the edge. Kendrick Duncan Jr., the sophomore free safety, makes a stop, 3rd and short.
Great opportunity and great tackle there by this time by Duncan. You see he's going to come from that second level, the lower left-hand side of your screen. Open field tackling was a problem with them in the first half. Duncan maintains leverage, unhinges, and gets the back on the down. They've got to find a way to get a stop here. Great opportunity for Liberty to keep things moving.
2 tight ends for 3rd and 1. Hickson in the backfield. Calvert will hand. Hickson has the first down, and it breaks open. Hickson shaking his way inside the 30-yard line. Finally ridden down by Bildor at the 19. And the Flames open up the second half, running it. 36 on this one from Hickson.
This is just going to be a divide play. Sometimes you call it duo. You crease the defense, you divide it. An excellent job at the line of scrimmage. The Flames get up to that second level. And once Hickson hits Pater and is out in the open field, he's on his way. The Flames shortening that game that Hugh Freeze wanted to do, as per John's first report, is right on schedule.
Mack in the backfield, he'll take it. Mack in the red zone inside the 15, tripped up. Touchdown saving tackle by Duncan.
I'm really impressed with how well Liberty is running this football. They were getting mashed up in front, trying to keep the RPO look with 11 personnel, so 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 back. The addition here of the second tight end and a very physical Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, number 88. He kind of popped on tape. He brings some physicality as an inline blocker. Here he is right there. He's somebody to keep our eye on.
Calvert hit as he throws. End zone. Touchdown. Gandy Golden holds in the touchdown. There is a flag down, but for now, TD grab number 33 of Antonio Gandy Golden's career.
Gandy Golden had a little bit of a push off there. I'll be shocked if they'll call offensive pass interference, but they could if they wanted.
Pass interference. Defense number 4. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Lots of contact on that play by both players. Gandy Golden had been pretty quiet in this ball game up to that last point. But ironically, a drive that got set up by the run ends with a pass with the best player on the field.
Probert on for the PAT, missed one in the first half. This one is easily good, 23-7. So Hugh Freeze running the football to get it started. Only 1 pass on the drive, but it's a TD pass. Calvert to Antonio Gandy Golden again. Champions of the Cure Bowl, including Willie Fritz's team, who had a terrific 2019. They'll play in the Armed Forces Bowl versus Southern Miss on January 4th. All right, let's go back to the TD.
Just a great job of Gandy Golden tracking that football. There was some contact there by Monquavian Brinson earlier to the play, but Gandy Golden, who had been pretty quiet in this game, perfect job of going up, tracking the football, showing that catch radius, falling back, and a nice little subtle push off to create the space.
Subtly
for the touchdown.
Yeah, they've been letting them go. It's a touchback, take it to the 25. Well, as good as Liberty's offense has been, 23 on the board, the defense has just been terrific thus far.
It's been outstanding. It's held this triple option offense top 10 in the country in rushing to under 4 yards per carry. This is a defense that I didn't think had a lot of speed. I felt coming in that Georgia Southern had the advantage there, but they're extremely well coached, and clearly that extra time has paid off. Guys like Jesse Lemon doing what he's doing. You know what this has resulted in? Liberty's actually leading the time of possession against a triple option team at this point because of their defense.
Exactly what the Eagles wanted to do, play keep away. So now can Southern come back again? Wirtz on the run. Wirtz out of bounds after a gain of 3. Alexander forces him out. You saw Lemonnier out there, which is important because he went down on one of the last plays of the first half, drew a penalty on that late hit on Wirtz, but clearly able to get back out there for the start of the third quarter.
I like Georgia Southern's strategy here by going to the perimeter. They really struggled up inside to create any sort of movement. The first read is the dive. That's clearly been eliminated. So now it becomes the keep by Wirtz or the pitch out to either Kennedy or King, who have the ability to take it to the house.
King takes it on 2nd and 6. 2 yards short, 3rd and short coming. Rusens makes the stop. This is a critical drive for Georgia Southern.
With them being down 16 points, it's not only a critical 3rd down conversion, but to your point, a drive. This is a situation in the game. If Georgia Southern doesn't convert this and end this drive with points, it could get out of hand quickly with the way Liberty's been running the football.
Only 2 for 9 on 3rd down. Wirtz on option. Wirtz gets just enough. I mean, about half a yard. Oh, he's short. They're going to mark him down short. Looks like he is short. 4th down.
It was a great job by Solomon Ajayi shedding the block. And look, you're in a situation where you got to go for this. If you're Georgia Southern, we've seen them punt a couple different times in this situation if they come up short in the ball game. But in a situation like this, you have to dial up the aggressiveness and find a way to convert this.
Friend D. Anderson in the replay booth next door has an opportunity to take a look at that one. Not so far. You see the play clock winding down.
It looked short to me based on what we saw. Now there's a penalty flag going down. Maybe the staff was hoping.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So you take the delay, you're 4th and inches at the 35, a situation where you certainly might want to go for it.
You almost wonder if they were waiting to see if replay was going to get involved.
Elbow there, maybe just short. So I mean that's close.
Close enough to have looked at it, right, for sure.
But instead marked short, 4th and 1. So you saw the elbow down where the football is. As soon as the elbow is down, you see where the football is. It was close, marked short. No official review. Take the delay of game, and now punting, and it's another 3 and out for Georgia Southern.
Their 7th of the game, as many points as they have thus far. Incredible.
Now Stubbs manages to grab it. Stubbs heading the wrong way, and Stubbs on a wet field slips and falls at the 20. 46-yard punt there from Beck. 23-7, Liberty on Georgia Southern. There have been fewer people more influential to getting the Cure Bowl to Orlando than Alan Gooch, the UCF Athletics Hall of Famer, defensive back and coach for the Knights, executive director of the Orlando Sports Foundation, and the CEO of the Cure Bowls with John Trippett.
Carter, thank you so much. What an atmosphere we have here in a soccer stadium for the first time a football game is being held here. Talk about the scene we have here.
Yeah, this is an awesome venue. The verticalness of the stadium, the canopies over the top, keeping the noise in. I mean, people are hearing pads pop that they've never heard out here before. So we couldn't be more excited about that. And $3.7 million for cancer research. This is what this game's about.
The Cure Bowl is so unique, so different than all the other bowl games out there. We see the players, they visited the hospital this week. There's so many things outside of the game. What is it that differentiates this bowl game?
Well, just that, you see Georgia Southern that's got such great tradition in football, and they have pink in the helmet. I mean, they were all in on everything that's going on. This is Liberty's first game. They traveled well. The synergy, it's awesome.
What a great scene. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Carter?
And while John and Alan were chatting, it's an interception by Javon Singletary, just the 6th pick thrown this year by Buckshot Calvert.
And it starts because of pressure again in Calvert's face. We talked about decision making when he's under pressure. He's been clean this year, but Calvert just regressed to the quarterback he was a year ago when he turned the ball over 18 times. That's the exact play that Georgia Southern needed. Now it's time for their offense to capitalize to help them get back in this ball game.
Singletary, the true freshman, starting in place of Donald Rutledge Jr., ineligible to play in the bowl game, has a pick, but Liberty playing the top D that they have all game long. It's Elefante with the stop on Wesley Kennedy.
Elefante, watch him right here in the middle over the right guard. Just shock and shed, violent hands. That's tremendous defensive line play, exactly the way you want to play that technique.
6'4", 310, Vincent Elefante, Gigante.
Simone Hermano.
Kennedy in the backfield with Wirtz. Can the Eagles take advantage of the takeaway? Wirtz. Play fake, nowhere to go downfield. Room to run. Wirtz trying to find the corner. Turns the edge, dancing. Did he get past the sticks? He did, and inside the 20. First down, red zone. Shai Wirtz just barely turns the corner.
If they want to get back into this ball game, it's going to have to be Wirtz there. He did a nice job of running around Clark and the rest of that defense. Some good pursuit that time by Dupree to get him down on the to the ground, but he's the player that can make this offense go. They wanted to throw the ball downfield. I don't mind the play calls, nothing there, and he took off. He waited a little bit longer. I'd like to see Wirtz start to trigger quickly if the throws downfield aren't there, so we can see more plays like that.
The INT by the Eagles, just their 8th this year. Murray and Michaud, play clock winding down, timeout, and
timeout. Georgia Southern, their first of the second half. 30 seconds in length.
It is discombobulated on the Georgia Southern sideline, and Chad Lunsford is not happy about it. They have had multiple issues with getting the plays in, getting the plays off, having to use a timeout here. Saw all sorts of wackiness at the end of the first half, but it is it's not a smooth operation right now on the Georgia Southern sideline.
It's not. And it's not what has allowed this program to ascend to the FBS and win 2 of these bowl games. That sort of lack of execution is not what this team has done a tremendous job of doing all season long to even earn the right to be here. Coach Lunsford ultimately is responsible, but his frustration indicates that this has been a group effort across the board. No excuse for that in that point of the field with the game in a situation like this to have to burn a timeout because you can't get the right personnel on the field and lined up correctly.
So 2 left, but the Eagles are going to mount a comeback in the second half. The time is now. Out of the bobsled on 1st and 10 in the red zone. Wirtz takes the handoff, option. Wirtz keeps it, tucks it inside the 15. Takes a big pop from Elefante. Gain of only 3.
Just a really nice job by Dupree playing this unhinging from that second level. Some good pursuit that time by Liberty. Liberty is flattening this defense out because of their defensive line. Elefante and those boys up front are allowing the linebacker crew to run free and make plays. We talked about the strength being the front 7. That's been on full display for most of the afternoon.
3 wide receivers on 2nd and 7. Kennedy with Wirtz in the backfield. It is a reverse. And it is Murray trying to spin his way. The Flames drop him back at the 20-yard line. Ajayi leads the way. The Flames were ready, and it's a loss of 5.
Lemonnier read that the entire way. When Georgia Southern was struggling earlier, they took advantage of that pursuit. Here he is here. He's the contained guy. He's got to keep his outside arm and leg free. He reads it right away. The tight end tries to get him. He maintains leverage, and look at the pursuit. That is clinic tape on how to play the defensive end position.
And forces you back into 3rd and long. The Flame defense has been stout. Wirtz out of the gun. Pressure off the edge. Wirtz, quick release. Fires complete, and he is short of the sticks. 4th down. Michaud makes the grab, but down 23-7 in the 3rd. Here comes the kicking game.
And what the heck are you running a hitch that's short of the sticks for in that situation if you're not going to go for it on 4th down? Field goals are good ways to end this drive, but the way that Liberty's playing, I would have liked to have seen a more aggressive offensive play call there.
Had to come back to get it and short, so now here comes short kick for Tyler Bass, 28 yards. Mentioned before, he's had 2 blocked. The 28-yarder sneaks in, 3 on the board. Just the 2nd scoring drive for Georgia Southern. So the Eagle defense gets the INT. Flames keep him out of the end zone, 23-10. Football right now, but it is the overlap that we enjoy so much because tonight the road to the Final Four, 6:30 Eastern. John Rothstein, part of the Windy City road trip, will be there for Dayton versus Colorado and Northwestern at DePaul, 8:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network. It has been quite a bounce back year for DePaul Blue Demon basketball. It has been a long time since they have been 11-1, back to the days of Mark Aguirre. So the Blue Demons making some noise. Tell you who else is making noise on the basketball court. The Liberty men's basketball team under our friend Richie McKay, who is now 13-0, trying to go 14-0 today versus Akron. Great start to the basketball year for the Liberty Flames as well.
Been a good year all around. Little trickeration there by Southern. Those are the things that you have to be disciplined with your eyes. This could be a animal that's got its back against the wall now. You got to be careful and alert for those specials.
Lewis will let it sail through, touch back to the 25-yard line.
Well, Carter, I got to tell you, coming into this ball game, it was clear Buckshot Calvert was the reason they got to this game, and he was red hot early, finding Huntley a couple different times, allowing his receivers to go up and get the football. That RPO, even with pressure in his face, he finds Anthony Gandy Golden. But due to the pressure by Johnson on that last play, he throws an interception, just his 6th of the season, and Georgia Southern capitalizes with the field goal. If you're Liberty, get back to the run game, take the pressure off Calvert so he can settle down, and then take your shots when they present themselves.
You mentioned it earlier. After 18 INTs last year, that's just 6 this season. Mack on the ground, and this is the recipe Hugh Freeze wanted from the offense, and maybe especially after a pick.
Great shot of C.J. Wright there. He's had a heck of a game up front. This defensive line interiorly is giving Liberty a ton of problems. They ran some divide. They ran some of their bigger personnel. Here they're back to a single tight end, 3 wide receivers. Excuse me, there are 2 tight ends out there. They're going to their bunt set. Let's see what they do here with both those tight ends on the field.
Out of the 12 personnel on 2nd and 9. Play fake. Calvert to the air. Caught on the edge and room to run for Shaw. Down the sideline. Wrestled down near the Georgia Southern 30-yard line by Duncan. So you show a run formation and get it in the air to Shaw.
This is Shaw's 2nd catch of the game, and it's a huge one. Watch what he does, taking a great angle after that catch and puncturing the defense, getting vertically. Jesse Liptrot, a captain on this team, takes a bad angle, gets beat, and allows for a huge gain, and the Flames on the move again.
Goes for 43. Calvert now over 12,000 passing yards, and on the flea flicker, he wants more. Buckshot to the air, and it's picked off again. Vildor has the INT after only 5 interceptions all year. Back-to-back possessions with a pick.
The ruling on the field is an interception by Georgia Southern. 1st down.
Carter, that's the one-on-one matchup that we were talking about against Vildor, against those 2. Anthony Gandy Golden, watch, he comes up the line trying to sell it. After the flea flicker, he comes back. That ball should never be thrown if you're Calvert. Watch Vildor's eyes the whole time he's watching the quarterback. Boom, he triggers, he breaks on it off his plant foot, and Georgia Southern's defense steps up huge again because of the costly mistake by Calvert, who's very quickly regressing to what we saw last year.
Can the Eagles take advantage, though? Play action. Wirtz hit as he throws deep shot downfield across the 50, and it is caught. Wow. Mashad wins the fight for the football all the way to the 31.
In real time, I thought this was an interception. Great position that time by Delaney, but good hand fighting and checking, and look at the concentration, unbelievable.
Roughing the passer, defense, hands to the face of the quarterback. That 15-yard penalty would be added to the end of the run. 1st down.
Eagles flipping the script now.
Things very quickly devolving for the Liberty Flames. Just tremendous concentration to keep that ball alive by Mark Mashad, and then the costly late hit by Clark moves the sticks. An incredible, very sudden change of events here, and the Eagles are humming.
The ruling of a catch on the previous play is under further review.
For now, it stands as a 60-yard play. 45 yards on the catch plus a 15-yard penalty. Dabney in a fight for the football with Mashad, who wins. Ruling on the field, catch.
Dabney was in perfect position. I thought he intercepted it. When he got up and waved his hands, no catch right here, I'm like, oh, nice defensive play. But Mashad, who's beaten, they're hand checking, being physical there, goes up. The ball lands right in front of his face. He never takes his eyes off of it, and he makes that catch.
Anderson, our replay official, having a look.
The ball never touches the ground, man.
On the field, it's a 45-yard completion, and in replay, it looks like a 45-yard completion will stand.
Dabney with a nice job there. I called him Delaney earlier. My apologies. Perfect position. I thought he made a heck of a play. I was shocked when 23 got up and showed the football, and he's absolutely right. That is a big first down here in the third quarter. Those are the plays that get you back in ball games, get your mojo back on the sideline, and reinvigorate that belief that you can get to 3-0 in bowl games. We opened the show about what's at stake and what's on the line here. There was immediate pressure, but this is just great concentration, and by far the biggest play of the day, if it stands, for Georgia Southern.
In fact, if it stands, it ties the longest pass completion of the year for Georgia Southern at 45 yards. Again, still under review to make sure Mashad comes down with the football. Ruling on the field complete for 45 yards.
Listen to this stat line so far for Shai Werts. 6 for 12, 21 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. The forward pass game has not been an option for this triple option team, but they just came up huge here.
After reviewing the play, the ruling of a catch stands. First down.
Chad Lunsford, the one word he uses for his team is resilient. Off the field, on the field, this Georgia Southern Eagle team has seemingly been through it all in 2019. So bowl game, things aren't going your way, down 23-7. To see the Eagles fight back is not a surprise to the Georgia Southern fans. Now can Werts and the Eagles in the red zone. Handoff, King. Nothing doing there. Dupree stands him up.
Nothing doing up inside. Dupree triggered on this immediately. His defensive line is eating up multiple blockers. That time the left guard and left tackle were late coming off. 33 hit the hole right away for the very, very short game. Liberty's done an incredible job inside today, nullifying that inside first read and the give of this option.
Werts, hand. That's King. Stood up again. Driven back again. Liberty defense playing tough in tight. Lemonnier, Elijah Mitchell, Tyron Dupree all in on the tackle.
Watch Elijah Mitchell, number 97 right here. This is how you defeat blocks. You're going to get blocked in the triple option. Got two defenders there. Maintains his gap. Wanted to release inside. Has enough pressure on the offensive lineman that he can shock and shed him and make the tackle in the opposite gap.
I love it when you go shock and shed.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad I'm up here not playing against the way both of these D-lines are playing. It's impressive.
Prior to third down, timeout, Liberty.
Timeout, Liberty. This will be a 30-second timeout, 30 seconds in length.
I really like this play call by Hugh Freeze. This is an extremely important down. If Liberty can hold Georgia Southern to a field goal here, it still maintains that 10-point double score game that's really hard for Georgia Southern to bring it back. Take a look at this, the point differential for Liberty on what they do offensively early in the game, plus 71 points, to how they end games. They start fast, but they flame out, and that's exactly what we're seeing here this afternoon.
Let's see what you did there.
Yeah, buddy. Took my ginkgo biloba today.
that wasn't something from the training room. Now Buckshot 2 picks after throwing only 5 this year, and then again for a Georgia Southern defense that had only 7 INTs on the year coming in. Back-to-back picks, and now 3rd and 8 in the red zone. Kennedy in the backfield with Werts. On 3rd and 8, Werts to throw. Werts is going to tuck it. He's going to scramble, and he is drilled. Lemonnier and Ajayi combine on the stop to force 4th down. Offense stays on the field for now, but I tell you what, Werts is going to come out, and the field goal unit is on. Werts took a big shot on that 3rd down scramble.
Great job by Liberty defensively to limit Wirtz's options to throw. These are the plays I'm talking about. I'd like to see him tuck it and go earlier. And if you're Liberty, you have to be careful of a fake field goal here. This is the perfect spot on the field to try it if you're going to do it.
Made from 28, this from 30. The kick is good. 3 more on the board, but it is back-to-back interceptions by the Georgia Southern defense, and it has led to only 6 points. Celebrating for now with a takeaway chain, but it's still Liberty by 10. Pink paint being very well utilized by those Eagles fans, hoping for a comeback here in Orlando. 3 turnovers in the game total. All 3 have resulted in field goals, and that's kind of why you have the 10-point separation rather than Liberty being able to run away with it or Georgia Southern being able to fully get back in the football game, because on the quick change, the defenses have done their job. Lewis, back of the end zone, will hit a knee, take it to the 25-yard line. So for Buckshot Calvert, I mean, this is amazing with the 2 INTs out of the last 3 passes thrown, and the numbers throughout his Liberty career have been so terrific, especially as a senior. That's really surprising to see at this point.
It's incredible, really. He's completely melting down in big moments. He's got to settle himself down. We saw Liberty open the second half running 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, being physical and having a lot of success. They should strongly consider getting back to that until their quarterback can settle down. He
had 2 INTs in the previous 10 games, and then 2 picks on 3 snaps. Missed that one too. That's a quick screen on the outside and just a miss from Calvert.
There's 3 different types of throws that a quarterback can make. A touch pass, which is this, sometimes they're hard to do. That ball has to be located perfectly to allow the receiver to run after the catch. Of all the throws that this big arm quarterback has, those touch passes clearly are the ones that he seems to struggle with the most. He's got a big arm. The drive throws and the firm arcs, he does a really nice job of.
That one's wide and incomplete, intended for Antonio Gandy Golden. Vildor was tracking that one as well. You're in 3rd and 10.
This is what Vildor does so well. Watch his eyes. You can't really see it. A little bit of pressure there, but the whole time he's keeping his eyes on the quarterback and breaks. And there's another ball that's not on target, an out-breaking route. Another miscue that time by Calvert for a wide open number 11.
Pressure off the edge on 3rd and 10. Calvert steps up and delivers. Gandy Golden went down to the knee, made the grab, but he was past the sticks. 1st down, Liberty. Antonio Gandy Golden runs the route perfectly.
Watch this stop, man. Just incredible. He stops. Vildor keeps running for another 4 or 5 yards, creates that separation. Those are the sorts of plays and route running that has the NFL curious about the skill set of number 11.
That's a Sunday matchup right there on the edge.
Amen.
Hickson, nothing doing on 1st down, trying to get back to the ground game, and you already started looking at the clock right now. After you pick up that 1st down, it's 3rd quarter, but this is what Hugh Freeze wanted out of his offense in the second half, the ability to run the football, run the clock, protect the lead.
That was another play with 2 tight ends on the field, another divide play, split flow zone where you bring the tight end across and kick out and try to find a gash up in the middle, but the Eagles defensive line holds, allows their linebackers to get a short gain.
Pressure coming on 2nd down. Calvert hands off. Hickson right into the run blitz. Got 3 yards. It was a tough 3 yards too, because Wade comes up to lay the lick.
Scott Sloan, the defensive coordinator, being very aggressive here with his defensive play calling. There's Wade sitting right there in the hole. Get some help from the inside as well. That's tough, aggressive play. The Eagles know what's at stake here, and they give themselves a very makeable 3rd down. Again, they've had success getting after the passer. They'd love to do that here.
One-on-one, bottom of the screen. Calvert
escapes the pressure for now. Buckshot on the run, shoved out of bounds short of the first down. You got 4th down coming for Liberty right around midfield. Johnson finally shoves Calvert out.
Interesting decision here if you're Hugh Freeze about what it is you want to do.
Offense staying out there. We'll see. For now, the offense is out there. Well, here comes the punt unit. So see if he uses one of those 2 remaining timeouts here as well, or they try to get it off. We'll see. Punt unit comes out late. 6-5 on the play clock. The snapper Mock, 2 seconds. They get it off.
Ooh, lucky.
Alvis, short kick. Short kick off the side of his foot, and it will roll to a stop just inside the 30. The late roll helps Liberty, but you send the punt unit out late. Alvis hits it off the side of his foot, and
watch this reaction, Carter. He knew it right away. As soon as he hit it, he's tracking it with his eyes. Oh, no. He just folds over because he knows he just shanked it.
28-yard punt, and that was with a pretty good roll at the end. So with the rain beginning to fall again, we have seen some twists and turns already between the Flames and the Eagles. 24 seconds left in the 3rd. Georgia Southern takes over again. Wirtz, option, left side. He is shoved back. And it is Alexander who just muscles Wirtz to the ground for a tackle for loss and the waning seconds of the 3rd quarter.
Great job by Alexander again to stretch this out, to flatten it. Look at all the red hats that are in pursuit. Liberty has done a masterful job stopping this rushing attack
That's
today.
the end of the 3rd quarter.
So it is a 10-point game, but it feels right now like anybody's ball game headed to the 4th in Orlando between the Georgia Southern Eagles and the Liberty Flames. Fourth quarter, the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl presented by the Orlando Sports Foundation. The Breast Cancer Research Foundation is dedicated to ending breast cancer by advancing the world's most promising research. Get involved at bcrf.org. It feels warm. It looks chilly with the rain coming down here in Orlando, Florida as we begin the 4th. Wirtz, play action. Hit as he throws, deep shot downfield. A shot play on the first play of the 4th quarter. Ajayi blows up Shai Wirtz in the backfield.
Just pressure right there in his face. Ajayi dislocates from the defense, gets a nice shot on Wirtz. He's an option quarterback, so he's used to taking hits. More problematic is that you have a 3rd and long situation and you're not a passing offense. Luckily for them, take a look at this. The interceptions coming into today, these guys combined for 5 all season. They've had 3 combined here today.
Pressure off the edge on 3rd and 11, drop. Lemonnier sacks Wirtz definitively on 3rd and long.
That was incredible get off. Jesse Lemonnier, I thought he was offside. Here he is off the left side of the screen. He moves before the ball moves, but times it beautifully. That's virtually impossible if you're a left tackle to make that block when you've got a defensive end that gets off the snap that quickly. That's the backup center, Caleb Kelly, that plays some of that left tackle spot. That's a really tough position to be in with that type of get off.
They've had a myriad of injuries on the offensive line this year, Georgia Southern. Beck punting in the rain. That one didn't get off cleanly as well. Goes out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Marked at the 42. So the Flames with a 10-point lead. The football 37-yard punt. Jesse Lemon. Yeah. quarter in rainy Orlando, Florida. Liberty by 10. Offense has gotten a lot of the headline for the Liberty Flames, but the defense has been terrific today.
Yeah, he certainly has. Scott Simons has done a masterful job against this triple option offense. It was top 10 coming into the season, or coming into today's game. 2 for 11, or 13 on third down, only 3 yards per carry. This side of the ball has been doing its job.
Mack takes it to the 46. Best starting field position today for Liberty as they get it at their own 42.
And this is that complementary style of offense that we talked to Hugh Freeze about throughout the week, knowing that he wants to protect his defense. Look, they're just letting time bleed off here at the start of the fourth quarter. That's very different for an RPO-based offense that has been lights out over Hugh Freeze's career, running faster than almost any other offense in the country.
On second down, Mack pushing. Mack gets it to the 50, couple yards short. We talked about how Georgia Southern has done a terrific job of scoring from everywhere else. 6 non-offensive touchdowns, and you kind of feel at this point, 10-point game. Yes, they have a couple of picks, but you're going to need something else, something wacky to happen for Georgia Southern, because the Flames, despite the 2 turnovers in the second half, still in command.
Yeah, Calvert really has struggled throwing the football. That run game's been there for him, though.
From the 50, handoff again. 3rd straight run for Joshua Mack. He stood up and driven back. Raymond Johnson III forces 4th down.
Here's a situation where Liberty needs to consider whether or not they're going to go for it. They thought about it the last time. There was some indecision, but once again, being curious, they run 3 plays. They go 3 and out. It takes a little bit of time off. I would have liked to have seen them, the way that they've been running the ball, go for it here. But Hugh Freeze thinking otherwise, electing to be conservative and hoping his defense, Scott Simons' club over on that side of the ball, can come through again.
Alvis's last punt, just 28 yards. Just the second 3 and out. The other was the opening drive for Liberty. Go out of bounds around the 25-yard line. So Georgia Southern football, now or never for the Eagles. Let us revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by Ryan.
Well, Liberty offensively protect the quarterback. Only 1 sack allowed, but it's been the run game in the second half that's really stepped that up. Forced third mediums. They've been masterful on third down. Simons' group has. Georgia Southern offensively plays small ball. They play too small. Only 3 yards per carry. Time of possession is virtually even, but defensively, the big plays hurting the Eagles once again.
That is Kennedy, who takes the direct snap, and Kennedy slips through and has a first down. There is a flag down.
Might be a hold on number 50, Kelly again.
Holding. Offense, number 50. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
I hate to say it, those are the things I see as a former offensive lineman. When you're getting your face crossed, sometimes you panic and reach out with your hands. He's the right tackle right here. Right there, he's got that left hand holding on, and the official's right on top of it, looking right at it, and throws the flag. This is not how you win yourself ball games if you're Georgia Southern. It's been the costly mistakes and the self-inflicted wounds all afternoon that have really hurt this team. Extending drives for Liberty offensively. Missed tackles, missed assignments. And now they're going and may not get the playoff.
Wirtz on 1st and 20, got it snapped. LaRoche, nothing much doing there. That number of 3 yards per rush. I mean, at the beginning of the day, if you say Georgia Southern's only going to average 3 yards, it's going to be advantage Liberty. It's exactly what you would expect. I mean, the Eagles can't win averaging 3 yards a carry.
Can't do it. This whole team is predicated on that offense, keeping their defense fresh to allow them to play the physical level of football that they want. But they've been masterful. The extra time getting ready for the bowl game eliminates a lot of the advantage that a triple option offense presents.
When they beat App State, they rushed for 335, barely over 100 in this one against Liberty. Low snap handled by Wirtz to Kennedy on the screen. Kennedy crosses the 20-yard line, but nothing much in the open field as well for Kennedy. And they're struggling to get anything going right now for Georgia Southern.
I like that play call. They're going to slip Lemonnier with a screen there. And then he gets the ball and then he gets lateral. This defense that I didn't think had a tremendous amount of speed is playing extremely fast today. And that, I think, of all the things that Liberty has done defensively, running sideline to sideline, keeping their second-level defenders free, has been it.
So now forced to throw on 3rd and 15. Wirtz rolling, desperation downfield into the Liberty bench, and the Flames come up with another stop. 4th and 15, no chance to go for it here. 10:09, Flames will get it back. Ajayi puts the pressure on Wirtz.
And because of those passes, it doesn't take much time off the clock. This sort of offense will appreciate that. But defensive coordinator Scott Simon's group comes through again. Great couple first down stops. Then the penalty by Georgia Southern. And they back themselves up and are punting it away.
9th punt for Beck on the 9th 3 and out by Georgia Southern.
Impressive.
Backing up all the way inside the 25 for Stubbs. So Liberty playing in the first bowl game in program history. A 10-point lead, 10:02 away from a bowl win. Back in Orlando, the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl. Carolyn Byrd hoping that the Eagles can fight back. Rashad's mother, they brought us on the air today talking about her fight. Mom's toughness for Mama on Rashad Byrd's headband. And would love to pull off something special in the 4th quarter here of the Cure Bowl. Calvert hit as he throws downfield, and it is flagged down. Pass incomplete. Ellis puts the hit on Calvert. Now we'll check the flag.
Bradley had all kinds of jersey in his hands. Number 11. He was beat. He knew it. Probably a good heads-up penalty there that could have prevented another big play.
Pass interference, defense, number 11. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Coaches hate foolish penalties, but sometimes in situations like this, when you know you're beaten, you got a mismatch, you grab a handful of jersey. Number 11's a big load of laundry, man. He's got a slot receiver lined up over him. That was probably a good heads-up play there. Now they got to reset themselves and get back to work.
Calvert, hands, Hickson diving forward near the 50.
We just saw a rush there, Carter. I've been impressed with what Liberty has done in this second half. After Calvert's interceptions, take a look at this. In the second half, Liberty is out-rushing the number 8 rush offense in the country, 84 yards to 18. What an extremely important turn of events for Hugh Freeze's offense that has gone to the run game in the second half, trying to win their first ever bowl game.
Fake it, toss it. Oh, that was a tight window for Antonio Gandy Golden, but buckshot managed to thread it in.
That's the arm strength, and that's a confidence-building throw. Look at that torque on it. You hit the nail on the head, buddy. That was a small, tight window, but look at the velocity. And then the heads-up play there at the very end by Gandy Golden. Did you see it? He started to turn his body to protect the football. That much confidence in his hands.
300-yard passing games this season, 7 all-time. Well, Georgia Southern runs a totally different all-time 5. Pretty amazing. You go back a couple of years ago when the Flames beat the Baylor Bears. He threw for 447 and 3 TDs in that game. Now it's Buckshot handed it off mostly here in the fourth, trying to protect the lead. Gandy Golden, by the way, new school single-season record, breaking his own. I mean, pretty much if you go passing records, Buckshot's got most of those, breaking most of his own. Antonio Gandy Golden, he's rewritten the record book for Liberty wide receivers as well. And yes, first bowl game, but the football program goes back to 1971 on Liberty Mountain.
He's a human highlight reel. Came into this game averaging 6 catches for 111 yards per game. He's been their go-to guy and a steady force for multiple years, which is why he's going to enjoy himself a nice opportunity on Sundays.
Calvert hands to Hickson. Hickson with a stiff arm. That's a tough run to take it to the 25-yard line and give you 3rd and short.
Nice job keeping Hickson's legs driving here. Watch him run through the arm tackle there. Williams has that big cast, but that extra burst also runs through the hands of Byrd. He's not very tall, doesn't weigh a whole lot, but pound for pound, he's a pretty powerful runner, giving themselves a nice 3rd and short situation here to keep this drive moving.
First 3rd down of the drive. His 3rd and 3. Fake it. Toss it to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Gandy Golden, locked up by Bildor. And you see Buckshot says, my bad.
It was located. He threw it to the outside. He should have thrown it to the inside on a frozen rope. I think he saw the safety coming over there late, and it kind of scared him a little bit, so he decided to throw it to the outside, which gave Gandy Golden no shot at catching it.
Offense stays out here now, 4th and 3. You've had issues in the kicking game, and so maybe a why not. You see only 5 4th down conversions on the year.
Hold your water if you're Georgia Southern. Don't jump off sides. You give them a freebie.
Hickson on 4th and 3 is dropped in the backfield. Ellis gets the stop. Georgia Southern gets the football. 6:35 to go in the 4th.
Ball is turned over on downs. First down.
And the Eagles are still in it with a 4th down stop.
I like the aggressive play call there. It just wasn't executed extremely well. Scott Sloan's unit dials up a double cross dog blitz and gets themselves off the field.
So the Eagles, who have had to rally all year long, get a 4th down stop to give them a shot in the 4th. Liberty 23, Georgia Southern 13. Coming up next, send you back to the studio, get you the latest updates, including bowl game action right now with Florida Atlantic putting together a pretty good effort. That is coming up next with Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Kevin Carter, and Aaron Murray. After the 4th down stop, Georgia Southern takes over.
We'll go back and talk about that 4th down stop here in a sec.
Wirtz complete. That's Kennedy on the edge. Kennedy gets the drive started with the 1st down. Wilson shoves him out.
It's a beautiful job there of throwing a nice touch pass. That's really what kind of got this offense opened up after a couple back-to-back 3-and-outs with those swing passes. Of all the balls Wirtz throws, those are among the best. Get some speed and space to your running backs and let them do their thing.
12-yard gain.
They're down by 2 scores with only 6 minutes. They're going to have to score and score here probably relatively quickly. Remember the timeout that they burned. That's something to keep an eye on.
Wirtz option on the right side. Hit low as he gets to the 44-yard line. Wilson brings him down. Tough young man, Shai Wirtz.
He's been so fun to watch, man. To be an option quarterback, you have to have some moxie. You got to be a tough dude and be composed and not be adverse to contact.
On 2nd down, option near side. Fakes the toss, shakes his way for a 1st down. Shai Wirtz moves the chains, crosses the 50, a gain of 8 more.
This is one of the first times we've seen Shai Wirtz keep that football, and with the great play fake there, forces the safety to overrun. He runs underneath him to convert.
Wirtz option to the right side. Toss. Kennedy wrestle down. Scruggs makes the nice open field tackle on Wesley Kennedy.
Nice job by Scruggs there. Again, flattening this triple option out. They were trying to run to the field, and he also stayed in bounds there, so that clock's ticking down here. Remember, a triple option offense takes a little bit longer to score. They're not as explosive as they would need to be. Georgia State being down 10 points here, excuse me, Georgia Southern being down here 10 points in the fourth quarter. It's got to start to pick it up.
Wirtz option drilled. Clark makes the stop. No gain. Flames rally. Ruson's there as well. And Wirtz is down, needing help from his offensive line to pop back up. Injured in the LSU game, missed a month early in the season. Wirtz going to have to come out. So here's Justin Tomlin. He can't even make it to the sideline. It's been a combination of the hits that Wirtz has taken today that has driven him to the ground. This is the last hit.
He gets sandwiched between three pretty big loads of laundry there. As an offensive lineman, some friendly fire coming over the top. He was slow to get up, then was jogging off wanting to come out, and then suddenly hit the ground.
So Wirtz, with help from the training staff, able to head to the Georgia Southern sideline. For now, Justin Tomlin trying to rally the Eagles. Redshirt freshman. Started the 3 games when Wirtz was out at the beginning of the year. Decatur, Georgia, Southwest DeKalb High School. 2 rushing touchdowns, hasn't thrown a touchdown pass this year, hasn't thrown an interception this year.
Watching him warm up, he's a tall, long, lean drink of water, but this is a wildcat formation there. He's not even a quarterback.
It's Kennedy who takes the snap. Kennedy direct snap. Kennedy takes it inside the 35, dropped at the 34, first down. So snap it to Wesley Kennedy. But Tomlin at quarterback still give it right to number 12. And now inside the 35, the Eagles hurry up. Kennedy again.
That's the urgency that they needed.
Kennedy drilled, no gain. Clark makes the stop again, nothing.
Southern's got to get up here and keep things moving. That was a brilliant play call a couple plays ago to convert on 3rd down. Completely caught Liberty by disguise, but now they're huddling up.
Kennedy comes out.
Got to keep an eye on that thing. This is a 2-score game. You've got to get yourself a touchdown, get the ball back, and score again to have any chance to tie, let alone win this game.
Tomlin will finally take his first snap. Tomlin pulls it, chased, steps up in the pocket. Tomlin dropped, got 3 yards. Rusons makes the stop, but that's a win for Liberty.
100%.
3 yards, middle of the field. Wirtz comes back. 2:57. We'll see how long it takes for Wirtz to go to the air to try and get a score when the Eagles need it in a hurry.
Obviously 4-down territory in a situation like this, but this is a big 3rd down.
On the 9th play of the drive, Wirtz stepping up. He's past the line of scrimmage. He's scrambling and out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Clock will start on the ready for play, but Wirtz moves the chains to the 20.
Best possible outcome is to get the first down, have the clock temporarily stop. If Georgia Southern's going to win this game, it's got to have to be number 1 to do it. He comes back in and makes a factor immediately.
The resilient Eagles on 1st and 10. Wirtz to the air. That's complete, but it's short. Murray, so inbounds, 2:20. I mean, that's a completed pass, but it gives you very little. Clock rolling now to 2 minutes, down by 10.
Yeah, that's a ball as a receiver. You almost want to bat down. It's so hard to do that. It was a great catch, but not a good decision.
Flags down. Motion. Who moved? Lemonnier got tangled up.
Lemonier's getting off the ball awfully quickly. I thought he might have been flagged on that 1 sack and hit on the quarterback he had.
Illegal snap. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
It's Peyton Backer, the center. Lemonnier, to his credit, might have moved off a move, and man, he is timing that so quickly.
Lemonnier out of the game for now. Sanders back in. Wirtz takes the snap on second down. Wirtz to the end zone. Incomplete. Left it just high. Intended for Malik Murray. Alexander in coverage. Less than 2 minutes to go. Third down.
Murray mistimed his jump here, it looks like. No, actually he didn't. He got up, he high pointed it, but he was laid out so far back it was low, which is why I thought he mistimed it. He's only got 16 catches this season. That would have been the biggest by far. He's got to find a way to hold on to that football.
Third and 13. With 4 wide. Wirtz out of the shotgun, steps up, away from the pressure, dumps it down. Kennedy makes the grab, wrestled down. 1:48. He's inbounds. Timeout to stop it.
Georgia Southern, their second charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout. 30 seconds in length.
It will be 4th down. Here comes the kicking unit on. I mean, down by 10, you take your 3 here. See if they onside kick, presumably with only 1 timeout. But you need 2 scores. Bring on the kicker Bass to try and get 3.
We've been hard on Lunsford's team today from operational. That was masterful. A great job of calling the timeout to stop the clock because the ball carrier got tackled in bounds. Because it's a 2-score game, it's a field goal situation here perfectly for this situation.
Bass's 35-yard attempt is good. 3 more on the board for Georgia Southern. Not done yet with 1:44. So with 1 timeout, you would love to have a couple more so you could kick it deep, try and get a stop, try and get a 3 and out, use your timeouts, or the 1:44 and 1 timeout. Best option may be the onside kick at this point. We'll see.
I'll be surprised if we don't see that. But it is a decision to make. Liberty's been running the football extremely well. So with only 1 timeout, do you have confidence in your defense being able to stop them to get the ball back? It's a low percentage situation in either case.
If you do kick it deep, your margin for error is very slim. You have to get the stop, you have to leave time on the clock, and you have to go the length of the field and with no timeouts, and that's not what the Eagles are built for. So all of that plays into the decision making with 1:44, the 1 timeout. Hugh Freeze has 2. But he wants to run that clock and get out of here with the first bowl win in program history.
I think the move here is the onside kick. It's certainly a decision to be made. Both are very low probability situations, but because that drive took so much time and only ended with the field goal, they really backed themselves in a corner here for the boys in blue.
Hands team for the Flames led by Antonio Gandy Golden. So Tyler Bass, here is your onside kick, dribbler, it's touched, let's see, it's recovered by Georgia Southern, but it looks like it didn't go 10 yards.
10 yards, and they touched it prior to. It didn't go 10 yards, they touched it. Either of those nullify their possession of the football.
Now, Kevin Hassel will get together with his crew and sort it out.
It's a pretty good kick, too. It just didn't have enough mustard on it to keep going. It died out at about 8 yards. And then there was a big mashup, and the Eagles touched it.
The kick was illegally touched by a member of the kicking team before it went 10 yards. It'll belong to the receiving team at the spot of recovery. First down.
Liberty Bowl with a 7-point lead at 1:44.
Good catch there, partner. It's been hard to keep track, but this is what I was talking about, that very high last pop there. And you see it. Perfectly touches Brinson right in his chest. Good job to recover it, but if the ball doesn't go 10 yards, it's illegal touching if the guys in blue touch it first. So now, if you're the Eagles, you need to find a way to get your run defense going. But, man, with only one timeout and 1:44 left.
The ruling of illegally touching the ball prior to the ball going 10 yards is under further review.
I know why they're looking at this again. When I tell he didn't circle that there was a mash-up of bodies, I still believe that Brinson, number 4, was the first player on the field to touch this football.
Hits him in the chest.
Yep.
So like you said, you understand why replay wants to take a look at it, but the ruling on the field, touched before 10 yards by the kicking team, got Brinson in the chest. So good effort there by Duncan getting on top of the football.
And really nice job by Benton. He's the player in the middle of that, of turning his back and turning away from the football. And that's what allows Brinson to touch it first. And it's going to be Flames football. I don't know if he did that intentionally, keeping that left arm out of there. 31. Benton didn't make any play on the football, regardless of whether it was heads-up play or just luck. Liberty's going to take possession of this ball.
And only one timeout. If indeed it is Liberty football, you're hoping for a miracle right now if you're Georgia Southern.
And that's a fumbled snap. I mean, that's your only shot is a fumbled snap, because Liberty can run the ball out. And man, what a season it will have been for this Liberty Flame football if they can win this ball game, their first bowl game ever.
So again, call on the field. Georgia Southern legally touching it before 10 yards. Liberty football with the 7-point lead and only one timeout left for the Eagles. Here's the call.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Liberty.
Flame football with 1:44.
And barring a miracle, Hugh Freeze is going to get the first ever bowl win for this Liberty team in their first year of bowl eligibility after making that huge jump from the FCS to the FBS level. Today was a day about validation, and that man right there is very close to getting what he set out to do at the start of the season.
And some last-minute coaching for his running back, Frankie Hickson.
Hold on to the ball, fall back.
Buckshot Calvert gives it to Hickson on the right side and in bounds, just trying to stay in bounds and keep it rolling.
That was what that last little reminder. Sometimes you get excited in these big moments, man. These guys have been thinking about this all season. Think about the adversity that this team has gone through, both of them, really. But Hugh Freeze missing the first couple games, sitting on the sidelines or the press box in a dentist chair. Comes back week 3, their best win of the season when he's back calling plays offensively as a part of this team against Buffalo. Now they're just over a minute from making history.
So you go victory formation. Yeah, victory formation now. Georgia Southern only one timeout, so not even going to hand it off. Hit a knees, a little pushing and shoving. There's the timeout, the one chance they have to stop it. Prior to third down, 54 seconds. Well, that's your last chance for the Eagles to stop it with the one timeout.
Down by 7, the Liberty fans beginning to celebrate, and when you win your first bowl game, you gotta know it's coming. It's about to get icy in Orlando. The most important responsibility right now on the Liberty sideline is Caleb Coleman, because he is right now in charge of the cooler dump for Hugh Freeze.
Well, there's still going to be a little bit of time left here for Georgia Southern potentially. But I think I agree with you, partner. It's a much greater chance than not that there's going to be a Gatorade bath that's coming.
So snap it on 3rd down. We'll see if they try to run clock on 3rd down or go victory formation and then bleed as much as you can. Got Antonio Gandy-Golden at the top of the screen, so yeah, it's still a possibility to just wipe it all out with a 1st down. Instead, it's Hickson. Hickson takes the handoff, keeps it alive. It's blown dead with 45 seconds. There's the clock rolling, and so you just wind it down as much as you possibly can and leave just maximum 5 seconds on the clock for Georgia Southern.
And this is where maybe you let the clock run all the way out, take the penalty, snap the ball, and run around go rugby style and kick it as far as you can, or even arm punt it and just throw it in the air. But with 5 seconds to bleed, there's multiple options here to get that last little bit of time off the clock.
And this is, you see teams practice these types of plays all the time at the end of practice of how do you get 5 seconds. So run it down and so take the delay or timeout. We'll see.
Timeout. Liberty. Their second charge to the half. Would the game clock operator please put 6 seconds on the clock? 6 seconds, please.
I thought it should have been 5. I didn't think it should have been 4.
Thank you.
But they elect to use the timeout.
I mean, you could even at this point just run it all the way back, safety, and there's a myriad number of scenarios, but it all results in Liberty snapping it on 4th down with 6 seconds and last-minute instructions for Hugh Freeze and his team.
I'd like a rugby style kick here, bleed it out as much as you can and then squib it.
Six seconds away. 1 snap from your first bowl win.
They're going to elect to let Calvert get this ball and run around and bleed some of this time, him or the running back Hickson.
So they'll snap it with 6. Calvert on the roll. He's going to take a shot. Gandy-Golden, the end zone. It is incomplete. Is there 1 second or zeros? Right now, zeros on the clock. And the Liberty Flames celebrate the first bowl win in program history.
They may need to take a look at this, Carter. With the naked eye, really quickly, it looked like there was possibly 1 second left on the clock.
Ruling on the field is the clock reached 0 prior to the end of the play. The game is over.
It is in the books now. The Liberty Flames win the 2019 Cure Bowl. Hugh Freeze in his first season leading Liberty football guides the Flames to their first bowl win.
Oh my gosh, man. There should be 1 second left on this clock. Obviously, we can't hear when the whistle was blown, but in real time, I saw that second. I don't know if it would make much of a difference in the big picture, but Georgia Southern probably deserves to have an opportunity to get this ball back on the plus side of the 50.
But it is in the books. And it is a bowl celebration unlike any other you will see in 2019.
Buckshot, not his best day in his last game as Liberty quarterback, but he gets to celebrate a tremendous career guiding Liberty to the bowl win over Georgia Southern. So once again, the final score 23-16 for Aaron Taylor, John Schriff, and our entire crew. I'm Carter Blackburn. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now let's send it to Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Kevin Carter, and Aaron Murray in our New York studio inside college football.
Tremendous job, guys. We'll be heading back down to Orlando for the post-game celebration, interviews, as well as the trophy presentation. As they mentioned, welcome in for the moment, Kevin Carter, Houston Nutt, Aaron Murray, I'm Brent Stover. Liberty finishes off, coach, an 8-win season, 23-16 victory.
To win your first bowl game it's outstanding for your team. Now recruiting gets that much better. There's nothing like winning a bowl game. Now your off season's even better.
How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, it's a great win. I think there's still 1 second on the clock, though. Would have loved to see maybe a Hail Mary would have been fun there, but defense showed up against this triple option attack, did a great job the entire ball game.
Yeah, anytime you're able to basically limit what someone does and keep them basically from being characteristic of what they usually want to do, then you can win the game. Liberty dominated time of possession, won the battle on the ground, and the quarterback was efficient.
Hugh Freeze has obviously had a bit of a fall from grace in the last couple of years, but it has to feel good for him to get a bowl win and this program that's obviously relatively new to the FBS to get an 8-5 season, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, this is an accomplishment. Like we said, I mean, parts of this team were working today. Frankie Hickson on the ground had over 100 yards. Stephen Calvert, he did enough today, was characteristic of what he's been all season. But the biggest thing is, and Aaron, you hit on it, is their defense. When you can keep someone from doing what they want to do, keep them from their bread and butter, it usually means you win the game.
Well, in your first year coaching, it's the culture. You're building a culture here. It's a great start. You get a winning season. You get to a bowl game. You win. Now it's about carrying that kind of momentum now into the offseason, get ready for spring ball, summertime, fresh new faces showing up on campus. But it's a great season, great way to finish it off.
Defense, the defense coordinator, the defensive staff, got to give them a lot of credit. You know what it takes to stop the option. There was no running lanes today, guys, nothing. And they did a good job of stopping the backs and the quarterback.
All right, so this is day 2 of the bowl season, and in the 5th annual Cure Bowl in Orlando. It's a 23-16 win for Liberty. They finished the season 8-5. Georgia Southern finishes 7-6. Trophy presentation, as well as an interview or 2 or 3 with the winners when we come back on Inside College Football. Welcome back inside our New York studios. Headed back down to Orlando in moments for the trophy presentation with John Schriffen, who's on the sidelines on the telecast throughout this Cure Bowl. The 5th annual means so much on and off the field, clearly in the fight against breast cancer. And for Liberty, they finish off an 8-5 season, 23-16 win. Stephen Calvert, 16-35, 270, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. You and I talk about this. I'm not comparing him to Josh Allen, but we talk about quarterbacks like Josh Allen, who I like, yes. But at times he giveth and he taketh away. Calvert was a little bit like that, but made enough.
Well, he's a big arm. I mean, we watched the football game, and one thing that I want to see him going forward, whether it's whatever goes on in his life, is just learning how to kind of mix it up a little bit. Not always having to bring the fastball. I mean, everything's 100 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour. Sometimes you got to bring a little bit of pace, but he got the job done. Couple interceptions, not great, but overall, you're a quarterback. You got a bowl win. That feels pretty good. Got to enjoy it and celebrate with your teammates.
And you mentioned on the ground, Frankie Hickson. Kevin, you mentioned Hickson had 120 on the ground. Also through the air, we saw those receivers. Again, at times when Calvert was on, 3 or 4 guys that were really good on the outside. 23-16 the final. Hugh Freeze and Liberty. They finish 8-5. Georgia Southern in the loss finishes 7-6. Cure Bowl champs, Liberty. Trophy presentation live. Back down to Orlando for John Schriffen.
Brent, thank you so much. Welcome into Orlando, everyone watching at home and here in Orlando. First, a round of applause for both teams, Georgia Southern and Liberty. A very hard-fought game. A round of applause. Before we hand out the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl Championship Trophy, I want to introduce everyone here on the stage with me. First, Alan Gooch, who's the Executive Director of Orlando Sports Foundation and the CEO of the Cure Bowl. Yes, sir. Scott Rose, who is the President of Orlando Sports Foundation Board of Directors. We have Sal and Rob Nunziata. Sal is the director of FBC Mortgage, and Rob is the co-CEO. And now it is time to present the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl Championship Trophy to Hugh Freeze and Liberty. Coach. Oh, you got to kiss it. In your first year of bowl eligibility, you get to the Cure Bowl and now win the first bowl game in Liberty history. Describe, how did you do it?
Well, you know, it really starts with, you know, people that have laid the foundation long before me, you know, like the President Falwell's father who set the vision, and then Turner Gill and all the many that came before me, and then the commitment from President Falwell now and our athletic administration led by Ian, and then mostly the kids buying in. You know, these kids, you know, had something to play for this year, and really, without exception, those seniors just bought in and led our football team to 8 victories and a first ever bowl win for Liberty University. And I'm happy for our fans. They're the best. Our band, and it's just, you know, it's a real blessing to obviously have an administration that has trust in you and our staff, and then to have kids that believe in us and we in turn believe in them. And it's a big family at LU. Our fans are incredible, our band, our cheerleaders, our faculty. It's just a great place, and people are going to find out about it, and as we start stacking some recruiting classes on top of each other.
Coach Hugh Freeze, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's bring in the MVP, Jesse Lemonnier. Congratulations. Give him his medal. MVP, 8 tackles, 2 sacks. You guys really shut down and really clamped down on the defensive front in the first half. What was the game plan heading into today?
But we know we had 2 weeks to prepare for them, so everybody basically bought into like the game plan and did their job. And all the young guys, you know, basically bought in, no complaints, and just everybody like the coaching staff, the scout team giving us a great look. Just everybody as a group just did our thing, and like we had a great fans just cheering us on, and you know that definitely helped us out.
Has it sunk in yet that you are part of the class, the team, to win the first bowl game in the history of Liberty University? Has it sunk in?
No, not yet, but you know, I'm enjoying the moment right now. You know, I'm seeing everybody. I'm just trying to get to them and just celebrate with them and celebrate with the fans, of course.
Well, celebrate on a game well played. Congratulations on a big win.
Thank you.
Let's send it back to you in New York. Thank you, guys.
All right, so tremendous job there, and congratulations, obviously, the MVP. Lemonnier, you told us in the pregame, Kevin, to watch out for him. 23-16 is the final reminder, 6:40 Eastern, a doubleheader of college basketball. We're heading out to the Chicago Legends Classic in Chicago, United Center, 13th-ranked Dayton taking on Colorado, 6:40 tip. We're with you till 6:35. More to come as they celebrate in Orlando. More to come from here in our New York City studios after the break.